The views and opinions on the Air with Mike Allen show do not reflect the views and opinions of other shows associated with Fort Kickass Productions. This show is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, I'm Chuck Licata. Haven't been on the set of On the Air with Mike Allen for a while, but always watch it and love to contribute. We're going to try and do a little fun thing today. First time ever for Pepper. We'll get to that in a second. You know, Mike Allen, for some reason, is loyal to Michigan. He's loyal to Michigan. He's loyal to Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions. Still haven't figured out what that issue is. But anyways, the one good thing about Mike, he's good about causes, really good causes. Pepper, come here, come here, come here. And one of the good causes that Mike's into and supports me is fosters and adoptions. And Pepper, we told the story a few times about Pepper on the air. Pepper was a foster, and I took him from Holly's Hope Fosters of Austin because we're trying to socialize him. Poor dog was abused as a little pup, and he's run away twice. He's ran away from me once. I got him about a year ago. He ran away for 19 days, and I found out before then he was with another foster, and he ran away then. So a lot of people have given up on him. Gayla Gertz from Holly's Hope called me and asked if maybe we could do something for Pepper. And he has made amazing progress. Of course, I have two dogs, Max and Blue, who have really helped out. But the reason we're doing this video is because today, for the first time ever, something that nobody ever thought would be possible, and it may backfire on us, is we're gonna let Pepper off his leash. Now, when he tore that leash out of my hands about a year ago, he ran away for 19 days. I'm confident that because of the love he's received, that he's not going to run away today. I could be wrong. He may end up taking off. I may have to call Gayla and Tanya Arsenault and get him back. Or he might hang around us and be good. Or the third option, what he's started to do is he might actually just run towards the door of the apartment that we live in. Either way, we're going to find out. We have not done this before. As Leland, who's the photographer for this, can attest, we have never done this before. We haven't practiced this before. This is straight up. We're going to live and die with what happens here. So, pending a truck coming in and making a loud noise to scare them away, we're going to give this a go. And of course, as we do that, we have a car alarm that's going off. So we're going to give it a second and hope they can figure out the car alarm. As you can see, he's cowering to the car alarm. Okay. Sorry, this is not good. This is not good video on television. Oh my God. There's something to be said about timing, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. All right. Pepper, come here. Come here. Come here, everybody. Come here. You ready? All right. You sit. Sit for Daddy. Sit for Daddy. Okay. There we go. All right. Look at my good boy. Look at my good boy. This is the dog that ran away for 19 days. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. Good boy. Look, come here, Daddy. Come here. Come here. Come here, Daddy. Come here. That's my good boy. That's my good boy. All right. Come here. You sit. You sit. Sit for Daddy. Come here. Come here. Sit. All right. Come here. Come here, baby. So there you go. Hopefully that was somewhat entertaining despite the car alarm. But it just goes to show anything can happen at any time. Hey, seriously, if you love animals, please, I'm begging you, contact Holly's Hope Fosters or be a foster for a dog. And if you're looking for a dog, contact either the shelter or a foster group to adopt an animal to help them out.
Is it on now? Welcome to the show, everybody. Our producer is in there, half awake, not paying attention, more concerned with sniffing snot back into his head and his silly-ass soundboard than paying attention to the very simple thing that he learned the first day, and that is turning on the microphones in vMix.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
So we have the first producer, this guy.
Shut the hell up, Leland.
Hey, I did a pretty good job. I got things up and running.
So, tonight, first of all, the video that we just watched, Chuck Licata, the sports commissioner here on the air, and his dog Pepper, who's a rescue. The link to Holly's Hope Rescue is in the description of this video. And really? This is how professional we are here. Nobody turns their damn phones down.
I did.
Nobody turns microphones on. This is what I deal with. Now we got somebody over here that soon is going to either have a humongously loud fake laugh that he will force into his microphone millimeters from it, making sure he blows all of our eardrums out. And then we got Knucklehead over here that can't turn his phone off for the show.
Hey, it was your
And
son.
there's the laugh. And there it is.
I'm sorry.
And bang on the table when I told him not to. That's what I have to deal with here. Anyway, Derek Chauvin trial. We've been watching it. I've been watching it, kind of keeping an eye on it. And I'll just repeat what I said before. When I watched the prosecution to that trial, one word comes to mind, and that is inept. So outside of the judge, taking the bailiff's pistol and shooting Derek Chauvin after whatever verdict comes down, the cities are going to burn. I mean, they're already gearing for it. They're already gearing up for it. It's already going to happen. It's a done deal. And one of the things I commented on was that the police station downtown Austin now has an iron fence around it. To keep people around and around the maintenance and all the facilities downtown off of 7th Street for the APD has now got all these iron fences keeping people away from it. So a lot of changes in our world. I thought 2020 was shit. 2021 is just basically the second half. Hopefully it's not the second quarter. Hopefully it's the second half.
A good analogy. A good analogy is the scene of the.
Your mic's not even on. Because I'm still doing my bit, man.
You think he'd learn by now?
I know. How long has we been doing this show? So anyway, we're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to talk about, what was the other thing we were going to talk about? We have another police shooting. This time the young man had a gun, was actively shooting, and then ran away. And then in the process of the police chasing him down, was shot. Of course, the split second before he was shot, he had dropped the gun that he was carrying. And, of course, that's a whole decision thing. But now he's added to the list of the media propaganda pushing police violence, pushing the narrative that all police are like this when the statistics don't bear that out. But that's some more fuel to the fire. We're going to talk about that and how they're going after now. Talk about hypocrisy. And now the left, not only are police bad, but now we got to give up our guns. I got news for you. You can't be anti-police and anti-gun. You got to pick one or the other. Because if there's no police, you're going to have to take care of yourself. I mean, that rolls back to the personal responsibility angle that I've been pushing for a long time now, that we all need to take responsibility for ourselves. And that's part of the problem that we have in our nation today is we've been kind of pushed into this narrative, this collective that one person's actions or an individual actions then paints the entire collective. And then anecdotal data, or hand-picked data, is used to push that narrative, which on the surface has true information but does not tell the whole story. What it boils down to is personal responsibility. Whether or not the female officer actually mistook her Glock 21 .45 caliber pistol for a taser and shot that kid because out of a mistake, or she intentionally pulled her gun and shot that kid because he was black, that's the individual officer. You can't say, well, because that officer did that all officers are idiots who can't tell the difference between a taser and a gun or racist. So we'll talk about that. And my favorite subject this whole week. Dogecoin. If you haven't bought any, go throw 30, 40 bucks at it. I'm telling you. Hear me now, believe me later. But we're going to talk about that. And just cryptocurrency. I didn't really understand cryptocurrency, to be honest with you. Still don't understand. And even with the Dogecoin, if the only way I can lose is if the total amount of my coins falls under $60, which I think is all I've invested into it. So if I come out at $59, I'll take a loss. If I come out at $61, I'd have made a profit. But I think it's going to be more than that. But we're going to be talking about that. Joining us and joining the producer, hopefully to make sure he has my microphones on.
We are here.
Are we?
Yeah.
They are.
Okay, you turn my mic on now. Dick.
Oh.
Is Alexander Lee joining us in the man cave? So, to my right, Leland Freeman, Danger Davis in the man cave, Mad Mike, and Alexander Lee. I'm Mike Allen, and let's get the show started.
I just want to start today. I'm sorry that my typically extremely sultry voice is tainted because of my horrible allergies. And I just want to go out and say this, that my allergies have never been this bad. And
Hey, do we have audio? Because they're still saying we don't have audio.
I don't see any comments because we have audio.
Okay, there's a green bar in between the two screens going up and down. Check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you were saying.
Anyway, my allergies have not been this bad, and I'm immediately blaming Biden. Okay? All his fault. Because I feel like shit. And this is all Biden's fault.
All Biden's fault.
100%.
100%.
Under Joey Jorgensen, she would have made fucking allergies illegal because I did not ask to be assaulted by plants.
Are we in an allergy-free zone?
Hey, is
right
Alex
now?
going to be on camera or no?
You know, a lot of this probably has to do with the fact that we had an actual winter in Texas, so the plants, they went to a full dormant cycle, and now they're putting out probably as much pollen as they would be if they were planted in a northern climate. You know, that being said, I think, you know, when you say 2020 and now 2021 is the sequel to 2020, a good analogy is the scene off The Dark Knight with the Joker blowing up the hospital. The first thing he does is use the hand sanitizer, and then he blows up the hospital, then it doesn't work halfway through, and he has to hit the button like 5 or 6 times before it actually went off. That seems to be the past 2 years in a nutshell, was that scene.
That whole scene, by the way, at the end was all completely improvised.
Yeah, it was improvised by.
The
Yeah.
effects crew actually screwed up. There wasn't supposed to be that delay.
And they were actually, you know, you can turn the mic off when you're actually messing with it in there.
Hold on. Can you guys hear this?
We heard that.
Yeah, we heard the click. Yeah.
All right, well, that wasn't me.
But you can turn that mic off when you're setting it up before you. They were actually, that was a building that they were demolishing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they filmed around the actual demolition of an old hospital.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Very rad.
Yeah. So, the Chauvin trial should have a verdict. They're saying by tomorrow. I think that, you know, this is, I would not want to be on the jury of this trial because I watched bits and pieces of it, and having had experience in court with both prosecutors and defense attorneys, I'm like, I don't get the angle. I don't get the angle that the prosecution is going after here.
I know. It's just they seem to be dropping the ball left, right, and center. A good example is they brought in a pulmonologist, and the pulmonologist made such a big deal during the trial that he usually charges $500 an hour for his services, but he was donating his time because he thought this was a great cause. And he says something as ridiculous as 90% of smokers will never have any issues with their lungs whatsoever.
What's a pulmonologist?
It's a doctor who
For our listeners, you know.
For our listeners that don't know.
Okay, it's a doctor that specializes in the heart and lungs.
Heart and lungs, okay. Well, I wasn't talking about that vague reference. I was talking about how the prosecution is painting a picture that the officers were intentionally acting in a way that George Floyd didn't want. And that their whole argument, the prosecution's argument is, if they would have just did what George Floyd wanted, he would be alive. I know I don't get that thought process, but and what I don't understand about all this narrative that goes on with all these instances is the need to have it a cut and dried black and white thing.
Hello?
Turn off your mic, Alex.
Anybody?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's a cut. Yes? In the middle of my thought?
Yeah, well, I just got my first fucking mic. I've been here for 10 fucking minutes trying to figure this out. I drive 45 fucking minutes up here for nothing. So
Infuriated.
Oh, okay. Well, that's worth an interruption, I guess.
And I was interrupting your thought because of what you just said, that if they would have just done what George Floyd wanted, he'd be alive.
Okay, you caught half that. You caught half that before you get. Hold on. Let me save you the embarrassment for everybody that knows. Hold on. Let me save you the embarrassment.
Save me the embarrassment.
You didn't hear the first part of that statement.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. The prosecution is making the argument that if the officers had just done what George Floyd wanted,
let him breathe,
he wouldn't have died, meaning that the officers were acting against George Floyd's wishes intentionally. And it's not just kneeling on him. I mean, it was before. It's like, he didn't want to get in the car, but they forced him. And that was part of the argument. Now, it's the bottom line of this whole thing is that when you have somebody in handcuffs, you don't kneel on them. Stick to that as a prosecution is the point I'm trying to make. I'm not defending cops, so don't. The point I'm trying to make is the prosecution is screwing this up. They are screwing up this whole thing. Chauvin is either going to get a reduced charge or get acquitted.
Do you think it's going to be a hung jury?
Or the jury's going to be jacked. And Maxine Waters didn't help his case by calling for violence if they don't get anything but a guilty verdict.
The judge called that out and said that basically Chauvin would win this case on appeal and have all the charges tossed out there, but he refused to do a mistrial. So it's the kind of thing where the judge even acknowledged that even if it's a guilty verdict for anything, it's probably going to get tossed on appeal, but he didn't want to be responsible in his mind for having the United States be torched.
And to be clear, I'm not letting the cops off the hook for anything that they do. Individually, they have to take responsibility for their actions. However, there is culpability in driving home the circumstance which led to those cops making bad decisions and not excusing their bad decisions. You don't kneel on somebody who's handcuffed. We've already determined that last week. That's bad tactics, horrible tactics. When you have somebody in handcuffs, you don't need to put your whole body weight on top of them on the ground because they're in handcuffs. They have no way to. You can just hold them with one hand. You don't even have to put any body weight on them when they're in handcuffs at all. So we've determined that what the cop did, especially Chauvin, who's kneeling down in the back of his neck, was not called for, it wasn't necessary, and it was wrong, and he should pay for that. I'm having a problem right now with the fact that the prosecution's screwing it up, so he might not pay for it. And who's going to pay for it is all the cities right now getting ready tomorrow to protest, and as in one prominent leader said, we're going to burn this motherfucker down.
Was that Maxine or is that someone else?
No, it's one of the folks on the ground there outside the trial.
And what's also interesting is Al Sharpton flew to Minnesota, and there's a photo of him walking up to a Falcon 2000. I'm looking at this going like, well, who's paying for that jet at $7,600 an hour?
Who cares? What does that have to do
What
with
does that
anything?
have to do with the trial?
He's flying.
He's a rich man. He has a lot of endorsements. He
can afford
he gets speaking fees. He gets paid by what was it, MSNBC or CNN? He's got a contract. He's got money. He can spend his money however he wants. If he wants to pay $75,000 an hour to fly in a Falcon
7,600
or $7,600 or whatever an hour to fly down here, good. He just paid 2 pilots. He just paid a bunch of groundspeople to fill the plane up. I don't give a crap about how he gets down there. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with the case. It has nothing to do with, Al Sharpton earned it.
We're out in left
He
field
earned
again.
it. You don't have to agree with him. He earned it. He works hard.
All right, what about Maxine Waters being down in Minnesota?
Okay, now Maxine Waters calling out, that's just irresponsible. And the hypocrisy is that you can't go after President Trump, who never, ever really came out and said, go attack anything, although you can easily say that it can be applied. She actually said, burn it down, if they don't get anything but a guilty verdict. Now, that puts the jury in a tough spot, because here's 12 jurists whose names will be made public after the verdict, which means if they don't come out with a verdict that's going to appease the crowd, they could be, like the jurists in the Zimmerman trial, they could be hunted down and lose their jobs and get harassed and doxxed and threatened.
And their families right now.
And their families,
And
yeah.
the fact that they're not being sequestered either. Now, the interesting thing, getting back to Maxine Waters, is that there's 2 congressmen that are putting forward resolutions. Pat Fallon of Texas, who used to be in the Texas legislature as both a representative and a senator. He put forward a resolution to have her stripped from her committees because, remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia was stripped from her committees because she posted a few things about QAnon on social media.
No, she didn't post a few things about QAnon. She went straight conspiracy theory.
But to her credit, Marjorie Taylor Greene is putting forward a resolution to have Maxine Waters completely expelled from Congress. Because if they're going to impeach...
Well, if they're going to impeach the president for it...
And Pelosi's saying, I don't see anything wrong with what Maxine said.
Well, and that's the hypocrisy.
That is the problem.
That's the hypocrisy of those, and like you, who have bought into the identity politics.
What's my mic on?
Yeah, your mic is on. It's just really low because you yell and scream while trying to give that thing a blowjob, and I don't want to blow my eardrums out.
Yeah, Leland, I kind of have your mic set on quiet because you're obnoxiously loud, so this is the only way to do it without hurting everybody around you. Your voice is dangerous to yourself and others.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got a bit of the quiet down juice. Now, if you keep behaving and earn enough good boy points, maybe I will amp up the volume. But until that point happens, you are on quiet mode.
Hey, at least if the audience can hear me, who cares? It's just I'm just going half the time is my mic even muted or not. But okay.
So let's go around the room. We already know what ideology you're going to follow and what you're going to say. Patty, what you think? What do you think's going to happen? I mean, the cities are going to burn.
Yeah.
I know. Let's just get that out. Please be safe and be careful. And to all the police officers that are getting massive overtime to do this, please use good judgment and understand that you hold the upper hand. And wise.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can't, because I know police officers probably are going to get injured and lose their lives. People protesting are definitely going to get injured, and some may lose their lives. We don't want any more loss of life. So please be careful. But Patty, what do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to get acquitted or a lesser charge? I think he's going to get found guilty of manslaughter, and that's still going to, because everybody wants murder.
Good enough for him.
That's not going to be good enough. You can turn Patty up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not over here with my mic. I learned how to use
murder
it.
Murder has to be what's called
Intention.
Well, they have to be able to prove intent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they won't be able to prove that with first degree murder.
premeditated.
Second degree.
Well, murder has to. You have to be able to prove that the intent was to take a life.
That he went out there to kill George Floyd.
First degree, of course, is that you know the person's name and you plan it out and you get the method and you take it and you do it.
Yeah, you conspire.
Yeah. Second degree is you know the person, but in the heat of the moment, you lose an argument and stab them or something. And then third degree is you don't know the person. This is just bare bones simple. This is Texas law. You don't know the person, but through your actions, you take their life, like at a bar fight. You know, you don't know the guy. you had no intention of going to take anyone's life, but you start a fight and you keep going and you kill him.
Yeah.
Then you
That's
have
third degree.
voluntary and involuntary manslaughter as a lesser charge.
Yeah. Well, manslaughter is you did it by mistake and there was no intent to kill. That's manslaughter.
Yeah, like you punch somebody and then they end up like falling.
They fall and hit
Yeah.
their head and die.
Yeah.
Like a one punch and he dies, that's manslaughter. One punch, he hits the ground and you jump on his chest and beat his face bloody and he dies, that's murder. Because you were doing it with the intent to kill.
Well, here's the interesting thing about even the manslaughter charges. The judge actually made a very specific point saying if there's a overriding factor that he would have died anyways, like, for example, the evidence about the fentanyl or his heart
Okay,
condition.
that's already been debunked. There was trace amounts of fentanyl in his system that wouldn't have been enough to overdose.
Actually, it wasn't.
Yes, it was many times.
Prove
Many
it.
times.
Prove it.
Outside of the right-wing ideological echo chambers that you park yourself in.
So normal people.
That was Tim Pool, and he was definitely not a right-wing echo chamber.
Okay, well,
Tim Pool.
Tim Pool. Timcast IRL.
Meh.
I heard it on this podcast.
so anyway,
Just repeat it.
I heard on this podcast.
here's what I
think
here's what I
we're
know.
on this podcast.
Here's what I know.
It's not even like a
Up until
coroner's
the
podcast.
point, 3 grown men,
That was 4.
3 grown men kneeled on this man's chest and neck, preventing him from breathing. He was alive. Whether he had fentanyl, whether he was drunk, whether he had drugs in the system, doesn't matter. If that hadn't happened, he would be alive. That is indisputable. And that's what the judge is talking about. If the defense can show proof that George Floyd would have died sitting in the back of the car where he was placed first, I don't know why they took him out of the back of the car.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
still that boggles the
They were
imagination.
fiddling with the seatbelts, but why did that matter? That
Once you
was
got him
in the car,
once you
he
got
just
him in the
left
back of the car, close the door.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere in the back of those police cars, especially the ones now because they have vinyl, hard plastic and vinyl cages, and even if you slip the cuffs, you can't get out. There's no doorknob. There's nothing on the door from the inside to get out.
Yeah, the windows are permanently.
And they got cages on the windows that are barred into the frame of the door, so you're not going to get out.
Yeah, just let him sit it out. Just close
Yeah.
the door, walk off. Start
Use it as a
doing
drunk
your other
take, pretty
things,
much.
Let him
lose his mind for a bit. and
exactly.
Then, yeah.
You know,
Then
take
go
him
back there and be like, "You want to calm down?" And I mean, I don't know. I'm not a
I,
cop.
well,
I
no,
don't-
Alex, you're exactly right because you know who's done that hundreds of times? Pfft, this guy. We're going to let you sit in the back of my car and cool off for a little bit, and I'll come back and see if you're ready to talk. And you stick him in the back of the car.
And you guys have video on it the whole time. Too.
Well, they have video on there too. They actually. I never had a body cam until I went to Motors. I bought a little body cam for me, but we just had the in-car cameras. But yeah, we had mics on.
But didn't they also have a camera that was pointed towards the back? So
Well, yeah, you just flip it around. It's the dash cam. You
Yeah,
just
I thought
flip.
there was like
You
two
just
cameras.
flip it around for the prisoner in the back. So
There's like 1,000 different camera types that were out for sale out there. So
yeah, well, the ones that the cops use now and that Minneapolis has are all digital. So what it is the body cam that has a pack on it, the camera in the car. They're all
synced to one time code, so it's all in real time, correct?
they're all synced together, so that when you go back to the station at the end of your shift, you hit a button and all that downloads to a database. So if all my traffic stops, all my tickets, they're all linked together through the electronics and the body cams. So all those cameras and they all had body cams except for Chauvin. One of the guys that had a body cam. So what the prosecution should have concentrated on, in my humble opinion, is stop all the minutia with all this other bullshit. Stop with the trying to get into the cop's head and say, well, if they did this, or if they had only done, that's just confusing the thing. The bottom line is, had the police not kneeled on a man's back who was in handcuffs on the ground, he would still be alive, true or false? I'm going to say true. He would be alive.
Same.
So that's your case. and they are just going. I don't know what it is. I don't know if lawyers just like to hear themselves talk. I was trying to get Adam Raposa on here. I don't know if they just want to drag shit out. I mean, I used to sit in when we used to do, I arrested a lot of DWIs when I was a cop, so we'd have a lot of DWI cases, and it would just like. So when you pulled up, the car had half a tank of gas in it.
Well, I mean, you also
Okay, then when you noticed that your tank had half a tank, did you think to yourself that after the stop, were you going to go get gasoline?
I mean, they spent so much money on that.
Excuse me, sir, you're out of order. You're out of order, sir.
Hey, don't
Let's
knock
say,
on me.
and then when you got out of your car, then you walked around to the front of your car? Yes. Then when you walked to the front of your car, then you made your way to my defendant's car? Yes. Then you walked up behind, you put your hand on the back of the car, and then approached the window? Yes. I was like, God damn. You could have just said, did you get out of your car and walk up to the defendant's window? But no, they got it. I mean, every little thing. It's crazy. And when I'm watching this closing arguments from the prosecutor, it's like, get to the frickin' point, man. The point is, you shouldn't be kneeling on a guy's back when he's handcuffed. That's your case. And they're screwing it up. And cities are going to burn. And it sucks. What do you think, Alex? Oh.
He's shifting around.
He's adjusting. Mike, you got any thoughts on this?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, they kind of screwed the pooch with this one. But I haven't been really tracking the case because I've been busy with their other stuff because, you know.
Well, I had some time today, and I was just kind of, you know, they've got like 20 million live streaming services.
I'm just like the fact that, you know, I'm still out of one of the headlines that, like, popped up in the news from, like, everybody and their mother has basically been like, well, you know, all this happened and it was going good, and then Maxine Waters basically opened her mouth and everybody was like,
yeah.
Oh, you should have not done that.
Yeah, I don't
term limits.
I don't care what ideology you pull for, and I know my buddies over here on the right are just like jacking off and going, yeah, she screwed up. But that was just irresponsible.
Like well, what's of interest is the judge even went so far as...
I know, you mentioned that. The judge went so far to say that it's going to be a mistrial and all this other stuff.
Well, I was going to get to the other part that the judge said the constitutionality, that he goes to her and says that as a elected legislature that she is incurring on the turf of the judiciary. Is basically what he said.
Politicians do that shit all the time.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, literally, that's their job.
Well, that's what the judge said.
No, I know. I mean, you take that to court and be like, yeah, our politicians are actually really, really agitative. So
a lot of them are attorneys too. Now, the other interesting thing about the whole case is just how good of an attorney that Chauvin actually hired. He was just on point every cross-examination.
I know.
He was able to counterpunch, is what Roger said.
Well, and not only was he able to counterpunch, it made sense. And that's why I'm saying the prosecution is really screwing the pooch on this one. I mean, they're really not doing a good job.
If this was
because they're trying to
government lawyers.
If this was in a vacuum and the jury wasn't concerned about getting doxxed.
But no. Take all that out of it. Even if with all that, the prosecution is trying to. It's kind of like this. My glasses are on the counter, but I'm going to talk about all this other shit that's on my desk. The drill over here, the paper, this, and I'm going to try to paint a picture that of all this stuff here, instead of just concentrating on the fact that my glasses are on the table. That's the prosecution. My whole case would have been, would George Floyd be alive today had you not kneeled on his neck? Yes or no? That's it. Forget about all the other stuff leading up to it.
Well, they are trying to get a murder charge.
Yeah.
So
you also have to think about this too.
Well, yeah, but that's even getting the murder charge, he's screwing it up.
I mean, they're bringing back his police background.
Yeah.
Previous accounts of
here's another interesting thing that
excessive use of force and stuff like that. So I mean, it's all they're trying to paint. They're trying to profile him as somebody more than just somebody that just made a mistake, kneeling on somebody's back.
Yeah, but
he has
exactly. But even
aggressive
tendencies.
Yeah, but even if they could paint that narrative that he has a background to this, in order to get murder, they have to prove that he intended to kill George Floyd.
I mean, they knew each other.
One of the state's experts.
They didn't know each other. They worked with
use of force said that he could have just tased him, and that would have been a more extensive use of force and would have been within regulations.
As long as that taser wasn't made by Glock 21.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I'm bad.
That was
uncalled for.
that was.
So
Hey,
between that
And the reason I say that, and I mean this with all sincerity, if you're in law enforcement and you do not know the difference between a taser and your service, please resign today. If you're on shift, just go back to the sub and turn your shit in.
That's why I'm against Glocks. That's what you get for using a pistol that doesn't have fucking safety. If you would have had the safety actuated and you would have had to do that,
Well, here's the thing.
motion to take it off safety, you would have realized that you didn't have your.
Yeah, because
but here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You can use Berettas.
But here's the thing, Alex.
Safety.
Shut up.
Safeties.
Here's the thing. Tasers have thumb safeties that you have to actuate before you can use them.
You know, I think
Yeah.
her training told her taser, but I think her heart, her fear, she legitimately thought that she was going to have to fight for her life, and her body chose the
gun.
pistol.
Yeah.
And
Well, here's what I don't think. I don't think she shot him because he was black. I don't think that was the motivation. However,
No,
There
shot
could
me.
be-
He had a previous gun charge.
I
You
mean,
know, he had a what's it called.
well, that's what the warrant was for.
A warrant.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
it
what the
was
warrant was for. But still,
fugitive from justice. Yeah.
I don't believe it was racially motivated. But it's going to be hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that you can't tell the difference between a 6-ounce taser and a almost 1 pound firearm, especially if it's a 21, which is a 45 caliber. That's a heavy piece.
It's a double stack too.
It's it's heavy.
Yeah, that gun weighs 29 ounces.
Yeah, it's a heavy gun. And the tasers don't weigh any of that. And here's the thing: a taser hand grip, if you don't have your spare prongs in the handle, it's just this little inch handle. It's only 2-fingered handle.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your. I mean, it's when you
it's
shoot your
distinctive,
taser, you
yeah.
got to keep your pinky out.
Getting back to the Chauvin case, one of the things that Tim Pool brought up about a week ago is he openly pondered, is the state throwing the case because they're afraid of having law enforcement agents resign en masse? Because they're afraid of, if they do anything, they'll get charged with a felony of some sort.
Well, that's not. That's what a talk show host is saying. Let me tell you that. Look,
Leland, if you wouldn't
That's what
have,
Tim Pool said.
if you
That's-
wouldn't
Well,
have,
Tim Pool is a talking head, man. Is he a cop? Has he worn a badge? Has he gone through any of the training? No.
oh my god, dude.
Now, are there
about that,
are there
Leland. Why would
cops
you
that are
say
going to
that?
leave
Do
the
you believe
force
that,
because
or
they
you
don't?
just talking?
Are there cops that are going to leave the force, as I did, because they don't trust their leadership to back them up in cases like this? Yeah, probably. But there's going to be enough people here's the backlash on this, and I don't think anybody's thought this through. Right now, Austin PD is hurting. They're down almost 300 officers.
They're losing 20.
Right now in private security, that's the place to go. And private security is getting paid a lot of money. Do you know why? Because nobody calls the cops anymore. Because the cops ain't going to show up because there's not enough. They're just going to the high-profile stuff, like if a shooting or an accident or a fatality or something like that. Guess who's handling all the disturbances and sound noises and noise ordinance stuff and shots fired? Frickin' private security.
This is the screenplay for RoboCop, by the way.
Absolutely, I saw that. By the way. See, OCP is going to be taking over.
So one thing you did bring in, like that I wanted to say earlier before we kind of got off track talking about it, especially for like the case for the prosecution, and you guys, this is like a plot twist. What if he's also just trying to, and I'm just reaching out here. Yeah, I'm going to go kind of conspiracy.
You're gonna go
theory.
pretty far.
What if?
Check at the yardstick.
Yes. Go grab the tape measure, the 100-footer. Right. What if he's also just trying to extend the trial to get more coverage of it because it is now a national spectacle? Because basically this is turned into like a whole giant national spectacle, and everybody, including I would say Canada and probably Europe, is paying attention to this.
Oh, well, this is the biggest trial since OJ.
Yeah. This is huge. Like, this made, like, the whole Zimmerman case and, like, some of the
yeah.
other
You mean
stuff.
OJ or do you mean Rodney King?
No, OJ.
There was riots over OJ?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh well, no, not so much riots, but it basically dominated every news cycle
I remember that.
CNN
for an
live
entire
coverage.
year. It was OJ, and
The trial itself was 9 months.
yeah. And so, and then when the verdict came out, I mean, it was,
The glove don't fit.
right
Most
down,
equate.
right down.
It's true because of
Ideological and racial lines. I mean, they show that go if you can go to YouTube and see reaction to O.J. Simpson verdict, and you can see the reactions from all the different ideologies, the different races, and everything like that. I mean, this is a big deal, and everybody's watching it because it's a spectacle. And I'm telling you this: everybody's watching this because it's a spectacle. Everybody's waiting to watch the live feeds of Portland and of Seattle and New York and especially Minneapolis. There's over 100,000 people in Minneapolis right now waiting.
Do you think that's why they took down
Dude, that's-
Periscope? Periscope's completely shut down now.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, Snapchat's still
I mean,
up,
Snapchat, and it's been streaming live on about 100 channels on YouTube today.
I saw more content on Chaz and like Portland and all the riots last summer on Snapchat than I did on any other platform.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
nuts. You just like go on the map and then you go to the area and you just click on it and it just like shows you. It was
It's crazy.
wild.
it was wild.
like Escape from New York. Like
Yeah.
And I mean, gear up. Because
I mean-
this week, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
that
It was
sounds like a bunch
nutty.
of Yankees problems. What it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, even
Well,
like
Austin's already. Go ahead, Mike.
yeah, I'd say when he brought that up, like even last year when there was like a small riot BS kind of thing where they flipped over a car and lit it on fire here in Austin, it was like 40 or 50 different people all got it on Snapchat. So it was like you got every single angle, and it's the same thing. Like you
But
go to
there's
these
only
cities,
like 2 guys that went to go loot the Target and they got arrested.
yeah,
Like
And I gave the other 2 guys a ride back downtown. An Uber. It's like, oh yeah, big show up,
Didn't
huh?
they send like 20 squad cars there, and then Target's response was board up every single Target in Austin.
Well, I'm surprised.
yeah, that was pretty weird.
I'm surprised
That was
that none of the businesses are boarding up leading up to this because I mean there's
In Austin or
there's a lot of people in Austin that came here, but I mean I remember at the height of the riots I was driving Uber, and on the news it seemed like there's like hundreds of thousands of people and it was all this big, but really it was less than 6,000 or 7,000, but they're all concentrated. So they moved like in this big group. So when you had a video of it, it looked like there was a lot. But when you were down there driving around in it, picking up people and dropping them off at 6th Street, a mere 2 blocks away, they were still going to bars and stuff like the bars that were open.
Yeah, we were down there.
Yeah. And so it was like you drive 1 block and there's nothing.
Well, what's the
So
fact-
the impression on the news was that the entire city was under fire, but actually it was that intersection around 7th and I-35 or the Capitol, or it was one or the other with a bunch of people walking a block and 1 or 2 streets walking back and forth between the two
Well,
of
you
them.
just said it right there. The lockdowns. Now, 6th Street was completely boarded up at the height of the beginning of the lockdowns, and then when the riots happened, they started boarding up all the hotels. The difference is that Texas and a lot of the southern states have no occupancy restrictions or mask restrictions, so all the bars are now open again. So everyone, instead of
Well, the bars that didn't go under are open.
right. But the fact is that people are out drinking and trying to have a good time, and so that's how their time's being taken up. Versus if you're pent up, locked up in a house with all this pent up rage by, like you said, all the with the media having their agenda, trying to basically set this country on fire.
yeah, dude, it's all fear. It's like every time I like
So if you
go
look
to
at
their
cities that are-
websites and I see their links and I see their coverage, it's all just fear and sensationalism. And then they have these like numbers of the COVID deaths up, and it's like all these like breaking news and flashy graphics, and it's just like this is people's pornography, man. Like they
Yeah.
really get off on this. Like,
And if you look at the cities that are on fire now, they're all cities that are still locked down, and it wouldn't surprise me. This is getting to, I'll put this out there as a conspiracy. a lot of businesses that are on the verge of going completely under, they're just going to say, is there a riot anywhere close here? And they probably torch their own business and blame it's a riot.
Oh,
I mean, it's insurance fraud. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me that's
Like, why would you
happening.
even bring that up? Like, what? How's that even? I mean, what kind of? That's like a dead branch in a tree of discussion.
We're out in left field again.
Holy shit, that
here's-
was beautiful.
Here's what we need. Hey, we need.
Davis, write that down.
Hey, write that down because we need that on the back of a shirt for the show.
That's
right.
a
Discussing the dead branches of the tree of discussion on the air with Mike Allen. Mondays at 9.
my
Sorry, I mean,
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
That's amazing. I need a piece of paper.
Hey, we're gonna add that to
You
the
have a
description. Of
phone,
the
Davis. Just write it in the notes. on
Hey,
your
we're gonna
phone.
add that. We're gonna add that to the description of the show.
I
And you
guess,
can't
I mean-
lose it because it's in your phone.
go for it.
That was awesome.
I applaud you, sir.
All
That
right.
was. I'm
Clap,
gonna.
clap, clap, clap.
Hey,
clap.
you know,
But right now, the sense
Sorry,
I'm
Leland.
right now the sense I'm getting from all this is that people are anticipating the riots and they are waiting to be entertained.
Man, there's a, this is kind of relevant. I was talking to Kelsey about it earlier in the week. We saw an ad for this rage room that was opening up in Austin, and it had like sound bites from what's it called, The Purge, in there. And I
Yeah.
was just thinking about like the type of people that would go to something like that, and then like, I mean, I know I'm a gun owner and I go to the range and I run drills and stuff like that, but I mean, that's all for like defense. That's just so that I'm like, adequate and I know what I'm doing. But like, type of person that would go to a rage room and then listen to like the Purge sound bites while they're destroying shit is kind of, I don't know. It's not scary. It's just kind of like, what is society coming to? Is this where are we really about to like go just fall into the
Hey, you want to do?
a government that has like a
Well, now we're sounding like the politicians in the early 1990s were blaming violence in the media and video games. To be
video games is different though. That's not as immersive as actually going physically into a room
Yeah.
and pretending that you're
Beating
in a riot.
something up,
And
yeah.
then when you have the opportunity to do that without consequence, real life, you just
Yeah.
go out and do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
Hey,
that-
you want to go do like purge
mean-
stuff and like pay for it. That way, you're ready for like the actual,
The actual
purge.
purge and
Yeah, welcome to the purge room.
I don't know, I
Like
just-
that sounds stupid, but yeah, I agree with you.
Like,
'cause
I don't watch
that's-
those movies just because it's like
Yeah,
it's fascinations of a country that could very possibly be,
And
you
they're-
know,
they're
like,
trash
that's how I felt like it
films.
was last summer. It was like the Purge.
yeah.
You know, people.
It felt like when Batista fell, that a lot of if you look at history and you look at these communist countries, they basically cause societal collapse to bring on totalitarianism.
And when was that?
When Batista fell?
Is that like the battles at
No, when Batista fell in
Achilles and Bophides?
Cuba. No, it was
and-
like 1958 when Batista fell in Cuba and the Castro
oh,
regime took-
Batista.
Yeah,
I
Batista.
thought you were like talking about ancient battles.
No, Batista.
No, when all these.
I mean, you've heard about those battles, right?
And these people, I mean, Leland does actually make a good point. It's like Antifa and these people that identify as Marxist and Maoists and stuff like that. I mean, this is their revolution.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a sleeping giant that everybody was looking at the Liberty Movement, you know, thinking that they were going to be the ones that were going to be all like
Yeah, this feels like the
kicking
Weimar
off the
Republic.
Civil War. But it seems like, you know, in my opinion, from my perceptions, it seems like it's the opposite. I mean, you never thought that the left would
Yeah, the-
radicalize so deeply.
Yeah.
They've
World's a
always done
fuckt
it.
up place, man.
I mean,
You look at the.
But Proud Boys are doing it too, like right wingers up in Portland. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I heard that Proud Boys and fucking Antifa are like duking it out.
Yeah.
Well, and this is
Weekly.
weekly and or if
Well,
not daily.
daily, nightly.
They have like scheduled pickup games and shit like that too. Now. It's-
Basically, they're like, "Hey, yeah, we'll meet you guys
Meet you in the
downtown,
Sandlot, punk."
6:30."
meet you in the west
get
side
into
of City
fist
Park.
fight.
Be there.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, this literally is the second Civil War.
Ah,
No,
I wouldn't say
say
that.
that.
you know, it's
But-
funny.
well,
Actually,
see,
at the beginning of all this, when we
hold
did
on,
talk
I want to address that real quick, Alex, before you get to your thought.
Are you sure?
It's not the second Civil War, and I'll tell you why.
Tell us why.
Because it only involves less than 1% of the entire population of this country that are actually actively engaged.
Right now,
That's still.
As of
So
right
the
now.
rest of the
That's-
people,
that's
so
before
for the
those-
rest of us, interrupting me. So for the rest of us that are
Watch
just
my
watching
face.
and taking it all in through the propaganda of the media, takes up another 20 to 25 to 30% of the people that are actually engaged in buying into the identity politics. Then you got the rest of the country that just wants to be left alone.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Until they get drawn into a point where they can't no
Yeah,
longer.
where they
Well,
can't.
until someone busts down my front door talking about pick a side.
When we talked about the pendulum swinging as one point,
Yeah.
one side
Yeah.
pulls, the other side pulls just as far.
I mean,
this is
this is very reminiscent, and a good way to describe it is like the Spanish Civil War, where you had radical leftists, and they kind of kept pushing and pushing and pushing until like the authoritarian side was like, "Hey, no more."
It happened in Germany too
Weimar Republic,
after World War One.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Revolutionary War and the Wehrmacht Revolution. So I mean, and both sides, like David said, just kept pushing and pushing. And what did the German government do? They banned guns, but the radical right and the radical left didn't abide by those laws, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And then eventually, the radical right asshole got became chancellor and then abused all the institutions.
But he could talk real pretty. That's
Yeah,
got people riled up.
and he was taller than most leaders at the time at a whopping 5'9".
It's 5'9".
Wasn't
Yeah.
Stalin like 5'2" or something? Like
Yeah,
that?
no, Joseph Stalin. I was actually reading about him and Lenin. They were both 5'5".
Yeah, they had
Which is
to.
shorter than
They
me.
st-
So
they
they were
stood
my
on.
height.
They stood on milk crates.
Dude,
Yeah.
they always look so. I always thought that Stalin was like 6'7".
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and we have to think Winston
So
Churchill.
the propaganda worked.
Yeah, Winston Churchill
All
and
the
Truman
statues.
were like 5'8", and like Stalin always had like, I guess.
And you know the irony? Roosevelt was the tallest one, but he couldn't stand up.
Oh yeah, in the wheelchair.
Yeah, it's true.
But
He
I
couldn't
know,
stand up.
And they kept that a very, 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 very tight secret while he was alive.
Well, the people knew, but they just didn't show him.
Yeah,
People knew,
had
but
polio-
they just
polio,
didn't
right?
throw it out there because back then the press had a respect for the office of the president.
There's very little footage of him actually walking, and he has like a cane in one hand, and then he has one of his assistants.
I know.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
design. But
Anyway.
they didn't. But it wasn't a secret.
But
They
yeah.
just didn't show it.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've talked about balkanization in the past. You know how it's not going to be like a Southern Confederacy versus the Northern Union. That it's
Yeah.
going to be more of skirmishes in between in the major metropolis cities.
Yeah, it's more like Vietnam.
And you're gonna have, as shit gets even crazier, you're gonna have outsiders. Like how many people were busting? I don't know the figures, but how many people were busting to Austin to protest?
Oh, a bunch.
And then
Bunch
what
of
happens when the
buses.
right
But
decides
still-
to do the same thing, busting people in from rural areas to come and counter protest?
But still,
and then
they-
these major city areas become the major battleground areas.
Yeah, but
That
still,
all
it's
these
a-
outsiders come in
and it's still a very small percentage of everybody in that
but
area.
that stuff grows, man. Only 3% of the colonies fought in the Revolutionary War, right?
yeah. And
Only
you have to-
3%.
You have to think during
Isn't
the
that a
Spanish.
huge proud thing?
Yeah, during the Spanish Civil War, a lot of these people, like especially northern Italy towards like not Italy but northern Spain by the border of France, they're like, we have no say in this because we don't give a shit and we want to do our own thing. But eventually they got drug into it. It was like everybody else. You have to think this is like the same sort of situation where it happens where like you have a group trying to retain power and they keep pushing and pushing, like what happened in like Serbia, Bosnia, and like the all of former Yugoslavia whenever it went down its inevitable collapse. Like this is in the same like right. This is like potentially what is happening here because you have these big, large vocal groups which are out here pushing narratives and they're out there showing up and burning shit. Then you have another group that's over here, like on the other side. They're fighting in them. They're getting in fist fights. People are getting shot. Or,
You're also forgetting
Beat up.
and also hyperinflation played a role in all these things too. If you
Yeah,
look at-
but we're
Yeah.
not at hyperinflation yet. So
We're not
Dude,
there
Even
gas
that-
is still like $1.20. Come on.
2x4s,
220.
one 2x4
Or 220, sorry.
Isn't like one 2x4 over $10?
That's
now?
not.
That's always, though.
That's
Yeah.
well, no, that's something unrelated to the.
Yeah.
I can still fill my car up with premium.
Hey,
and
what
it's
was he
30
saying
bucks.
before the show, Mike, about hyperinflation? Oh, Dogecoin.
Yeah, he was talking about how Doge-
Is that your new catchphrase now? Is hyperinflation?
So you missed the
Inflation.
boat, so you're gonna shit on something you don't even know what the fuck you're talking
And
about.
you can still buy. Drop $50 on
If
Doge.
everything is being hyper-evaluated, then what's the point of valuation? If it says, "Oh, here's Doge," it's going to go from nothing to the moon. I mean, this is all Wolf of Wall Street shit. Sort of like the government printing $2 trillion.
So jump $50 on it. What's $50 for you? That's like a trip to a restaurant. Drop $50 on it, And if nothing happens, nothing happens. But
Yeah,
if you turn around tomorrow and all of a sudden you got 10 grand, are you going to be sad for that?
I am right now.
Or you say, oh, it's Wolf of Wall Street. I can't abide by this. I'm going to ideology. I'm
Wolf
gonna,
of Wall Street
or whatever.
Weren't you all getting? Didn't you get a hard on for GameStop and all that other shit
Yeah.
at the beginning?
Yeah,
of the year?
because what it was doing
You are fake news.
it was going to collapse everything because that's the whole point.
and guess what happens after it
Dogecoin.
collapses?
Didn't they say that about Bitcoin too?
Hey, guess what? Yeah. This is why I'm buying Dogecoin. Because 13 years ago, when you had your computer and we're talking about Bitcoin and everything, and I shat on it because I'm a Gen Xer, and I'm like, oh, that stuff's stupid. It's not
You're
anything.
a
Boomer.
If I would have just bought into it for $20 and bought back when Bitcoin was 5 cents a coin, $20 at 5 cents a coin, and now it's
Almost 60.
30,
It was 60,000.
almost 60,000 a
Like
coin.
64,000 is.
I wouldn't be
like-
sitting here, or I'd have my own studio. So here's my lesson that I learned. I'm not shitting on Dogecoin. I'm not shitting on it. I mean, Alex had me buy. I put $10 more into it, and then I bought some on another platform. So I'm in it $60. $60 I'm in it. I'm up over $3,000 right now. And I've had this Dogecoin since. When did you tell me to buy that?
2018.
2018, and I used to send him screenshots because I spent $30 in Robinhood, and it was sitting like at $24. I was losing money, and I'd send him screenshots. Ah, great investment. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'm eating my words.
What did
And I wrote,
in it?
and did I not send you a text that said, "Man, I'm sorry.
I mean, you
sorry
didn't
I
have to
did that
apologize.
because this is going to be awesome."
I mean, y'all all shot on me
I don't
when
need
I
your
bought
apology
it.
for me.
Yeah,
being
and we shot.
Oh, y'all shit on me
Alright,
hard.
correct
Yeah.
Because I put
No.
$100 in
Now
it.
the only thing I got a beef
did
about
not
you is
do
I spent
any
$20 on Sundance or whatever the fuck that is.
Sundial.
Yeah, you guys
Sundial.
were taking stock and investment advice from fucking Okie, and you lost money, and then you ignored me, and then like
no, the Doge bit,
Well, I didn't ignore you. I didn't. Hold on.
Talking to Patty.
Oh, Patty. Yeah, go
last
ahead.
week, last Wednesday, when I told him to buy some, he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wait till Friday," and it jumped up 30 cents.
I think, when he told me to buy it, it was
And he
what?
was
It was
like,
like
"Oh, so
10
I'll just go
10
jerk
cents.
off."
I mean,
and
I
play
bought
with
in
my
it. I
Legos."
think I got in at I was able to get in at 18. But I mean, I was the one that originally bought into that, and y'all all, I was like, "Hey
I
guys,
know,
look, I have 60,000 shares
Oh,
of
we
Doge,"
were-
and y'all were like, "You're
yeah.
so fucking stupid."
It's
Why
not
would
a
you-"
share. It's a coin.
Yeah, I know. I had
Well,
60,000.
because it
It's
was
not even a
it
coin,
was
we
a
speak of Doge,
it was
it's a bone.
it was
Yeah.
a joke.
and it was at .002.
I bought at
coin.
.0002.
Yeah,
I bought $30 worth, which got me 60. I think I have 6,900 coin
I
on
think it dropped to
Robinhood.
like 4 decimal points behind a dollar
Yeah.
too.
Oh.
At one point, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Damn, this
And
is really."
And I bought on crypto. I bought another. I'm in at 60, so I bought another 40 and got 2,600
Yeah,
when it
I have
jumped up
three-
to like 10 cents or 15
I mean, I have
cents.
300 shares of it, and I've made
coins
coins. Sorry,
Right now, it's
and I have I
40
made like
cents.
60, 70 bucks.
jumped
a
up.
coin.
It just hit 40.
Well, no, it was
Just
at
at
like
40
42.
cents.
It was at 42 before the show.
Yeah, earlier this.
Holy cow!
Earlier it was
well
like
420. Tomorrow's supposed to be the day that it's going to have this huge jump, and they're talking 69 cents. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're watching this program, 1, buy Doge, and 2, hold.
Hold on.
Don't cash out to make a car payment. Hold and buy the whole car.
Yeah, if I hadn't gotten rid of mine, I could have paid my
No,
car.
hold and buy the old.
Well,
dealership.
almost all of it.
Buy the whole dealership.
Yeah.
Just
No,
hold.
it's,
Buy the
it crashed over.
God,
the
that
weekend.
was loud.
Yeah, this is actually pretty loud. You should
Oh.
turn this down just a little bit.
Yeah. No, I have it like basically almost all the way down.
Oh no, on the screen there,
Oh yeah.
you know where it says master. Go to
Okay.
like 3/4 of the way up.
Yeah. Well, that turns all of us down.
Yeah, that's okay. We're all. It's
Yeah.
all hitting red up
If
here.
it hits $1, I'm just gonna be like, and the sad
Well,
bit
buy
was,
more. Just drop.
Oh yeah, I'm wait. I just pulled out
How much is
money.
it bought on leveraged credit?
None.
You know what?
No.
None of mine.
None
So
of
I don't
mine.
give a shit about what other
Leveraged
people
credit.
doing. I don't care. Once it hits 1,000 a coin, I'm paying this freaking house off. I don't care what other people are doing. I don't care. That's their problem. As long as I can pay this house off and put some in the bank before it crashes, good on me.
But if everything collapses,
Exactly.
If it hits
Throw a honk on it.
If it hit 1,000 a coin, I would have made $60 million. I probably would kill myself at that point.
don't
Why?
say that on the air.
Why would
That was
you-
a joke, but
I mean, why? But why? How many do you have right now?
I have 300 shares, so that'd be 300
Coins.
Coins. I'm sorry, but like the thing that I'm most mad about is the fact that like I had all that stuff and I left it alone. I ended up deleting the app at some point, and it was all in there. And then when I moved to another app, and then Robinhood was having all that shit, I was like, I want beer money. I was like, oh hey, look, I made like $200 off of Dogecoin, and it's still not doing shit or whatever. I think it made it to like a cent or two. So with all those coins that I had, I made a decent profit. So I was like, I can go buy some beer money or buy some beer. So I sold just about all of it.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I know. I wish it was the other way around, and I could be telling you guys, hey,
So,
look, I
so
got
you're going to buy
24
some
grand.
Doge?
Also, Leland, I don't think that you can buy cryptocurrencies with a credit card. I think it has to be.
Yeah, it has
debit.
to be linked
has
to
to-
It has to be
Linked to a bank
linked to a
account.
bank account.
To a debit card. Yep.
Yeah.
Robinhood used to be able to, but they don't anymore. I didn't do that. I just used my bank card.
Yeah, because that's smart.
But I moved my Dogecoin. Well, I bought all the new Dogecoin I got on crypto.com, which is better.
That's what I have mine
more
on.
than credit cards, but people taking out loans.
Also
people
brought-
mortgaging their houses to buy this stuff.
Well, you know what? That's their problem.
brings-
So what?
People
We're going to
probably
kill
get
it
that
and not
for,
be
uh,
involved in it because somebody else is making bad
If this
decisions.
brings
That's
the
their
whole-
fault.
If this brings everything down, and there's no value to anything.
Leland, not
He's
enough
just
people
big
are
mad
doing
he
that
doesn't
for you to
have
be.
it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just quit being a cheap bastard and buy some. Shut the fuck
Let-
up.
You know what's going
Goddamn.
to happen? You're going to be knocking on my door saying, "Hey, man, you need a pilot." And I'm like, "I don't know, man. Should have
No,
bought
man.
Dogecoin."
Yeah, an actual skill.
You could
Get fucked.
I love using that.
I'm like, I don't know. Do you have your own plane that you bought with your Dogecoin? No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Is that-
I don't know, man. I only have pilots that own their own planes.
Yeah. It'll be cool because
Like,
Alex and
actually,
I.
Trust
I
me,
went and
you
got
don't
my
have a pilot
pilot's
that owns their
license
own
with all this
plane.
Dogecoin that I
Yeah.
had. So
Yeah, I'll just fly myself now.
It'll be
turns out you
cool.
can just buy
I'll
one
give
and
you
go
a
with
ride
it.
in my plane. How about that?
Yeah, we have me and Alex have like a kind of buddy dude that we used to go shooting with from time to time who has his pilot's license. And he also, right, has bought heavily into this. And he's like, I could go buy my own goddamn 737 if this takes off.
The maintenance.
Doesn't
Shut
matter.
up.
He's a
Shut up.
gajillionaire.
Shut it.
And like he's already from
Shut
like a
your
wealthy
mouth.
family.
Well,
And then he'll be
maintenance
like
on it
super
would just
wealthy.
Be such a.
Here's
you should
what-
just sit around all day. If all I had to do was maintain my 737, do you understand how little of a problem that would be compared to the problems that I have now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking kidding me?
And the problem with maintaining that is just getting with the guy that you've hired to maintain it.
My AC went out on my car. That's more of an inconvenience than working on a 737.
Yeah. Because like, oh, well, since I own a 737, I guess I'll have to fly my poor people airplane.
Yeah, somebody
Somebody
told me the other day,
a
because
billionaire,
I was
Leland,
talking
I don't
about
care.
this. It's like, well, if you're not happy now, you won't be happy when you're rich. And I said, but I tell you what, I've been sad and depressed on the back porch of my house behind my mortgage. I'd like to be sad and depressed on the fantail of my yacht.
I was
Yeah.
I think
Pretty
that would
much.
be a little bit better. Plus, I'll be able to
Out in, like,
employ
the
a bunch of
Caribbean
people
somewhere?
who will then have jobs and be able to provide for their families and hire those people
But aren't you just-
and become part of the economy.
Aren't you a little bit concerned?
Dun dun.
This valuation is just coming out of nowhere.
I don't care. Look at me.
value-
Look at me.
what'd
Look
you
at
say?
me. If it hits 1,000 a coin, I'm paying the house off, and then I don't give a shit what it does.
Leland, what was
Okay?
that?
Because what they can't do is once I cash it out and I have the cash in my bank account, they can't come back and say, "Well, since everybody else made bad decisions, we're going to take all that cash back."
Yeah.
Actually,
You can't.
No, actually,
uncash
they
it.
cannot. Once I cash it out and it's cash and it's liquid and it's in my bank, they cannot come back and get
Yeah.
it.
Leland,
if it's in your mattress.
No, if it's in the bank.
Leland. One, spend some more time outside because you look like a fucking ghost. Two, what was that about it? Valuation.
Pulling valuation out of your ass. I mean, it's just like
Where did the valuation of Bitcoin come from?
It's out of everyone's ass.
Okay, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dan Bilzerian flying around banging hoes and buying guns and shooting and stuff, he doesn't care about the devaluation.
He actually is probably upset and sad because that sounds like a sad life to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like a horrible life.
Hey, Alex. Hey, do you know how sad we'll be when we're up in Alaska doing sweet Alaska stuff?
If someone was asking,
man.
like, hey, do you want to go take a yacht and sail the seven seas, or do you want to go hang out Dan Bilzerian? I'd tell Dan Bilzerian to his face to go get fucked. I'm going on a yacht to save this.
I was just making an example of how Dan doesn't give a shit about devaluation.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't making a comment about the man's character and integrity.
He made his money on what's it called, right?
Also, like
on Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin and like poker.
Bitcoin and poker.
And like, yeah.
Well, he started out
Bitcoin, dude.
He started out with poker, and then he invested heavily into Bitcoin back when it was
still cheap.
just a thought.
When
Just like I thought. Just like I
dumbasses were
thought. I'm
paying
kicking
for
myself
pizza
right now.
with it.
Yeah.
I could have bought Bitcoin back when I was a cop and put 100, 200 bucks into it. And right now I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
I'm not gonna miss that train again. I'm not. I don't care what other people do.
He's also only in it like $60. So I mean, like,
Yeah,
That's a huge loss.
unless I cash out at $59, and if I cash out at less than 60, I take a loss. Anything else is net gain.
dude,
And
if I cash out with what I made on it, I'm like, all right, sweet. Well, that was fun.
Yeah,
You know, like,
I could catch up on my house payments right now
I
and be done. But I don't want to. I'm just going to sit on it. I'm okay.
there are people who have probably made bad decisions like that, Leland, but that is their decision to make.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't say, well, I'm not going to do something
Yeah.
because all these other people are going to do it. Who gives a shit? That's collective thinking.
Live
That's the
your
box
own
we're trying to
life.
break you out of, because that's the echo chamber
Wait,
you live
wait.
in.
You're doing collective thinking of like having everyone buy crypto crap.
It's all collective thinking.
Oh,
The
crypto crap!
the only
I invested
difference is
$60.
that there's people
I'm
that
sitting
take
just
advan-
under $4,000 right now.
There's people that take
Yeah, it's
responsibility
crap.
for their own
That's-
actions, and there's
yeah,
people that
that's
don't
not
take
crap.
responsibility for their own actions. And if you're the dumbass that's leveraging your house against this, hoping that you can make billions, if you're ledging your entire house on this, like your mortgage, your family's, all that, you probably have a fucking problem. All right,
Yeah.
it isn't because
So how
of
do you think you're going to?
cryptocurrency.
So somebody has to buy it at the inflated price. So the question is,
That's my $40 investment right now. Is it crap?
No,
okay,
that's
let's just say
pretty
that
good.
goes up to what, $20 million. Who's going to pay the $20 million? Where's the $20 million going to come?
I don't care. I'm going to cash out enough to pay off my house, be a millionaire, and just let the rest ride. I don't care, because once I cash it out, it becomes liquid cash in my hand. I could go get it all.
Somebody else buy it.
I could go get it out of the bank in ones, fill this entire room, and go swimming like McDougal Duck or whatever the fuck that
Would you
cartoon
like
thing.
McDuck? Would you
Scrooge
like me?
McDuck. It doesn't matter at that point. I don't care if somebody leverages their house and loses everything. That's his choice. It's not mine. I don't care. I didn't. I used cash. I didn't put it on a credit card. I took my
potato
hard-earned
chip
money
money.
and stuck it in there and listened to my son sarcastically and did it. And
And
thank
what
God I
say?
did.
What did I say?
And thank God I did.
I said, if you don't have $60 to throw into this, you're making the wrong life decisions anyway. So
$60 is what most people spend on fast food in 3 days.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. This is pretty much a picture of you when it eventually takes off, and whatever Leland said would happen would happen. Like, you just don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Leland, all those Bitcoin.
I'll be sitting here. I'm going to put the deed to my house in a frame right here and have you look at it every show as we sit in a studio that's paid for. And if the world burns and it crashes down to less than 2 cents, and you lost this or whatever. Yeah, but I cashed out 2 point whatever million, and I got some in the bank. Now I've got other investments. Now I got
But the
properties.
world
It
burns
doesn't
down.
matter.
That's so hyperbolic, and that's not going to happen.
Just buy some Dogecoin and stop being a douchebag, man.
If I owned,
Stop fighting the system.
if I had Bitcoin right now, right? If I was a Bitcoin billionaire, you know what I'd be dumping $1 billion into right now?
Your wedding.
Dogecoin.
No, I probably wouldn't. No. $1 billion on a wedding, don't.
No.
Come on, we don't even want to spend the money that we do have on it, or that we are getting from it. But I know I'd be putting that into Dogecoin. You know, if I have $50
$20.
billion and I lose $500 million because I threw it into Dogecoin. Who gives? You know how much money that is?
I wish I had that
Any
problem.
fucking clue?
I wish I could get up tomorrow morning
Oh,
after
lost $500 million on
after-
Dogecoin
yeah.
yesterday.
Oh, man, I lost $500
Guess I'll
million?
hold it because I'll probably make a
Let me go.
$1.5 billion the next day.
Let me go jump out in my Tesla e-car automatic whatever and drive down and drown myself in mimosas as I buy the entire bar drinks because I'm rich.
Yeah.
Leo, can I ask you why you are so heavily against it? Is it like a personal thing? Do you feel bad that you missed out on Bitcoin? Or do you feel bad that you're missing out on Doge?
That happens in 2008. You have an overly speculative bubble, which it has valuation appear out of nowhere.
There was so many things that went on. Nobody's giving out predatory loans for Dogecoin.
Crypto.com and Cardano.
No,
Google that.
I'm on that.
Google that.
Did you get
Google it.
Crow and Cardano?
Google it.
I am.
No, I'm in. I got.
No, it's
How many
on the
loan
app.
sharks?
those are the other two coins that they're talking about.
Like, yeah, but it's pretty much. I mean, it's like Mark said, man. Like when I bought into that, nobody believed anything in it. I bought it as a joke.
Well, it started out as
I
a
put
meme. It started out as a
and
joke.
I put $90 in it, and I can tell you right now, if this goes and hits like $2, and I could have made like $120,000 off of a joke that I was like, look, I have 60,000
Hey,
coins
Patty.
of a meme.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you real quick before you say something fucking stupid and like self-deprecating.
I'm not gonna say this.
If you had $120,000 in there, you would hold that motherfucker. until
Yeah.
it
Well, yeah,
became
no, I'm
12
just
million.
well, no, but
Alright?
my point here is just the fact.
No, he'd sell
that
it
it's
for
just
beer.
like-
He'd sell it for
That'd
beer.
be
yeah.
that'd be an expensive beer, but I would be like, look, man, I put not even $100, it was $90, and if it went that to make that off of just doing absolutely nothing, dude, that'd be the coolest fucking thing ever.
You do have like a what's called a impulsive problem for just spending money on like dumb shit anyway. So whether
you
it
got
be
a point.
beer or Lego sets or whatever, as long as it's not Doge or bullets, you're just wasting your money.
Yeah, but
I
that's
agree
my
with you on
life to live.
bullets.
The fuck you?
So are you getting on right now?
Hey, why
Because I
don't
will send you the link to my
I was just
crypto
gonna
so
say,
we can
send him
both
I'll
the
get.
send you the link to
referral.
my crypto. No,
Oh yeah, send it to him. Send it to him, Alex.
Alex sent me his,
Get on
and-
crypto.com.
and I got $25 worth
Throw
of.
$20 at it. $20 at Dogecoin. This is your last shot, man. Because after this, we're sitting here all rich, and you're sitting here all sad and bitter. Remember this moment, because this is the moment where we told you so. Chuck's buying it right now. Chuck is still online. He's watching the show. I bet you he's on crypto.com right now buying Dogecoin.
In the last 6 months, Dogecoin has jumped 14,000%.
Yeah, I was reading an article
That's a
that,
bubble.
and this was like published earlier this month before it shot up even more. But it was like if you spent $1,200 at the beginning of this year, you would be up to $32,000
Yep.
right now. It is ridiculous.
And I mean, like when I bought it, like for you to say like it's a bubble and it might pop and it might crash back down. I'm sorry, but if it were to do that when I bought into it, it would have to sink down pretty fucking.
I know, I bought it- I
Two
bought it-
tenths of a penny.
I bought it like at half a cent.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I
My-
put in $600 into it, and if I lose $600, then that's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, if you had
All right.
$600 to, if that was like some fuck off money or whatever, I mean, you're
yeah,
not really
I've been
losing out on
able
anything.
to go to the range all year, so like,
Yeah.
I mean, you put how many coins do you have?
well, I did that thing at the beginning of the pandemic where I sold all mine, like Patty, but instead of buying beer, I bought gold bullion.
Nice.
Smart.
Yeah, because I'm not a dumbass. Sorry,
You went out.
Patty.
You went out.
Love you, but Jesus Christ.
You went out and buried it on
I
an
mean,
island.
one of us has to be the dumbass of the group. Leland's just trying to do a really good job of beating me out for it right now.
But no, I bought in at the beginning of this year, and when it was up to a penny, and I had to. So you and I have the same amount of coins. I just spent 10 times as much as you did.
Oh, okay. Because I got just under 10,000.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
9,000. So I got.
Also, wouldn't tell people how much you have.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I think the first
I
time
got just under 100.
The very
Most of the
first
stuff
time I
is
ever
like-
bought into it, I think it was like $15. Got me 15,000
Well, you have TikTok on your phone, so I really wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not live on there anymore. No one goes in my lives. I'm
Except for
If
the
Doge hits like
communist government.
Since they're
$600,
communist
they
governments,
might.
yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you the communist Chinese are dredging the bottom of the barrel for entertaining stuff if they're in my stuff.
China.
Yeah, they're not looking for entertainment. They're looking for
Your
everything
personal
else about
data.
you. They don't care about if you make them laugh. They don't care about your sense of humor.
Yeah,
They're not there for that.
Yeah,
They're there for your social
Doge's
security
highest
number,
point today was
your
at about
name,
6.15, where it reached
address,
42 cents.
whether or not you're susceptible to any diseases.
Your name, number, serial number, how tall you are, whether you're susceptible to any diseases.
And from Chuck Licata, sports commissioner of On the Air with Mike Allen, baseball broadcaster, savior of dogs, $100 he invested
There you go, Chuck.
Smart.
in Dogecoin.
It's the people's coin.
It's the people's coin.
I mean, it's like if
Sounds
you
communist to me, but
Sounds common to me. I'll just keep,
I tell you
going
what,
on with my life however I go about it. I don't know what you do for work.
just buy some Dogecoin, man. I'm serious. I'm at
get
the point where I just want to buy some for you, because I'm telling you,
right.
you're going to be bitter and left behind.
Plot twist. Buy some for him, and then just keep it.
Buy some for them, and then when you make like $1 billion off of it, just give them the $100 that you spent.
Just spend.
Yeah.
Here's $100.
Jump on board, man. You can do it. You can.
Wouldn't want this to
Do it. You can do it right now.
inflate.
How much? $20. Throw $20 at it. That's one restaurant trip with tip.
Do it.
Did you check out on us, man? What's up?
no.
That's like 17 less Cheddar Bay biscuits that you can
Yeah.
get from those.
Just think of how much you can tip the waitresses on all the restaurants that you show, all the food that you've been
I
eating.
haven't done that in a while.
I know, because you have no money, because you didn't buy into Dogecoin.
Do it.
just think of the soundboard that Davis.
I tell you what, everybody that's watching
This is
should.
all peer
Here's the
pressure
question:
and people are following.
should Leland buy $20 of Dogecoin? Yes or no? That's
No,
the
he's not
question.
going to succumb to peer pressure because he's going to try to prove to us that he doesn't succumb to peer pressure, and that's fine. That's okay. It's his mistake.
Yeah.
It's his decision.
Oh,
It's his
you
money.
know what's going to happen.
So if he wants to be
it's
left
going to blow
behind,
up.
yeah.
It's going to blow up. We'll cash out and be millionaires, right? But leave a majority of it in, and then the bubble's going to pop, and he'll come back like, "I told you." I'm like, "Yeah."
Just
Yeah.
buy $66 worth.
I just bought 5 more rental properties, and
Yeah, just execute an order for $66.
Yeah, Leland, you're looking about at this about it all wrong. We're not in this so that we can make a bunch of
Hey,
money
Mike.
and then blow it all like dumb assholes. We're in this so that we can invest it, whether it be into communities or whether it be into our own portfolios. It's $60. I mean,
imagine if here's
such
a
a small investment.
here's a vision I have. I want to buy houses, but not buy houses and then have them under the bank. I want to hold the title of the house. So all I owe on those houses is
The taxes.
the taxes.
Which are going
and here,
through the roof.
and it doesn't matter if you're only owing the taxes. It's still half of what you would be paying for your mortgage
for now, and that's
for now.
That's,
And that's even better if the bank doesn't own my house. But here's what I can do: I can open that up to veterans. I can open up to single mothers, and not charge them $1,500 a month rent. Only charge them $1,000 a month, or work to their need. Because all I need to do is cover the taxes on the house and then the little bit left over to put in the bank in case something breaks down so I can go fix it. And still make a profit, but I don't have to jack up the rent so high because I don't have to owe anything to the bank.
like all these
Yep.
'Cause the bank-
douchebag
I'm not at-
management companies that
Yeah,
are buying
I'm
up
not at
rental
the-
properties.
Buying $20 more worth of Doge.
I'm not at the mercy
you
of the
go.
bank and the interest rates. And when you own the property, how cool would that be if I owned 5 houses in veterans that are just getting out of the military and that they haven't found jobs yet or are having trouble with whatever they're having trouble with? The one less thing they can worry about is paying a rent every month. That's the kind of things I want to do. And I want to pay this house off. And I wouldn't mind buying some property to film on and build a big pole barn that I can put cars in and go work on them and have a range that we don't have to go. We can just make our own range with a big berm. And I don't have to go somewhere else to do it and maybe spend time out there or just buy a bunch of property. You know, and if Vicky and Alex and others want to go build houses out on the property and we all live in this one big compound with gun turrets and trenches, fine.
Dude, that sounds badass.
Yeah, that sounds great, especially in the post-apocalyptic
Exactly.
Doge
Yeah.
hellhole that you seem to believe is
So,
going to happen.
I mean, here's the thing. Is it frivolous? Maybe. But I'm only in at $60. $60 I spend on shit a week. Water and snacks and whatever.
It's like a video game.
It's like a video game. He just dropped another 20.
I just dropped another 100.
It's not that
Yeah.
big a deal.
Do it.
But here's what's going to be a big deal. If you don't buy into it and you stubbornly dig your heels in with your ideology and you talk about all the minutia behind it that's convincing yourself not to do it, you're going to miss out.
Dude, Bitcoin's been around for like 15 years now. And
there are people.
come on.
There are young guys that bought in Bitcoin 15 years ago, and they got YouTube channels. You know what they do? They go to stores and they buy out the entire store. They walk in and they look at the owner and say, "I'm buying everything in your store," and then they take everything in that store and they donate it to people. How cool is that?
Mr. Beast.
Mr.
Do you
Beast.
see any of his videos?
Oh yeah,
Dude, I love him.
and all that's from cryptocurrency and his YouTube
And then
channel,
he gets to write it all off.
and he gets to
Yeah.
write it all off.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
I watched
You
a
know,
video
see,
for him today.
Another
you
thing
see
I
how
want to
he's doing
do.
that?
Another thing I want to do is I want to take one of these social justice warrior pro camping, stuff, and I want to grab them and say, "Look, I tell you what, I'm going to partner up with you, and this is what we're going to do. You go pick the homeless person. You pick them, anyone, and we're going to get them off the street. We're going to get them into an apartment. We're going to buy him all new clothes, give him a complete makeover, get him into rehab if he has to, and get him into job training and get him a job. And I'll finance it. You pick the person and follow through, and we'll follow him. I can't do that now.
Baby.
I can't do that now.
Yeah.
But I could if this cash is out. I mean, what's wrong with dreaming a little dream like that, huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? And the biggest dream I have is to get a PTR to get these assholes off my back.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you got that money and you're buying a PTR and not an HKG3, then
Jesus, man!
We're moving the
hell?
goalpost once we have Gucci money.
I mean, when you have to look at it this
He'll
way,
just be
consider-
like, "What? If it exists, you'll buy it."
I mean,
No, but
That was loud.
fuck, dude.
I didn't know that one was going to be loud. Shut up, Leland.
why don't you turn the master volume down?
Dude.
Oh.
So yeah, like when you say like
On the slider, yeah. Show them on the slider on the board, Alex, where you can
when
turn
you
that down.
when you say that's like impossible and stuff like that. I mean, 6 months ago, Bitcoin was just shy of $13,000, and over the span of 6 months, it has grown to. It's gotten up to like 65.
So if I would have dropped
$66,000.
$50 in Bitcoin 6 months ago, I'm not missing a train again. I'm not.
All aboard.
I'm not.
Choo.
And the reason why I'm on this is not just to. I'm not trying to buckle you under or make fun of you. I'm telling you, man, you're missing out.
Buy $66 worth.
Leland
By
is very
$69.
frugal.
$20. Throw $20 at it.
And if it's not steak and lobster, he's not throwing money at it, which is okay. That's
But
his-
if you
that's
throw
his-
$20 at it, you can buy all the steak and lobster you want.
You could buy a lobster boat.
You could buy your own lobster boat,
If we're-
have them catch the lobster,
we're in
and then you
nuclear
could have somebody else cook it. Think of all the people you can employ just for your steak and lobster, for your surf and turf.
Or we could be in nuclear war with Russia for all we know.
So what?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and who's going to be supplying arms and ammunition to American rebels?
Us.
The dude that bought
Us.
The dudes that bought us too.
We bought
That's
it.
all the Dogecoin.
Like, yeah, so I bought these like new Russian AK-12s in these crates from this guy named Vlad at the border. Here you go, Americans, go fight off the Russians. Boom, be a national hero. There'd be books written about
It's only
you.
going to go up. Everybody's getting it, and what the only thing that's bothering me about this is everybody. I'm on Twitter, and I'm really pushing the don't cash out to make a car payment, hold and buy the car. Don't cash out and make a house payment,
So you're on the
hold and buy the house.
hold on for dear life person now?
No, not dear life.
Dear
Be
life.
patient.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Don't cash out and to make the car payment. Cash out when you can buy the car. That's not hold on for dear life. I'm $60 into this.
says
$60.
here, Dogecoin is snowballing into cultural phenomenon. Brands are accepting it as a payment. Exchanges are listing it. Memes are being made about it. The media is talking about it. Your friends are asking you about it. Your dog reminds you of it every day.
I mean, Elon
It's
Musk
Doge
even
Day.
spoke about it.
Well, Elon Musk is what's kicked all this off
Yeah.
because he just mentioned it.
Well, they told him to kind of back off because he might be
Being manipulated.
manipulating it. But, I mean, he did back off when the FCC was like, hey.
right
check the
now
fuck
it's
out.
at 39 cents.
But I also read that there's rumors that Tesla and Elon Musk is going to accept it to buy Teslas. And if that's the case, if I can leverage some Dogecoin towards a Cybertruck,
Dude, did you see the
Don't
one in
get
Austin?
that. Don't get that ugly ass truck.
Shut up.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
It comes with its own ATV.
I'm getting the
painted
I'm
army
getting the
green.
Cybertruck. No, not even painted army green. I'm going to keep it.
Put a turret on the
DeLorean,
back.
reflective.
Warthog.
Yeah, Warthog, man. Halo theme intensifies.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
up
to
to
get a Mr. Fusion device, attached to the back
I'm
of it.
happy for you, Mark.
It'd be good.
I'm going to drop another 100 on it. Why not?
Hey, if I lose it all, whatever, hey, that's okay.
Yeah, I'll be $160 into it if I drop another 100 on it. And I just might.
Yeah. No, it'll be sweet.
I mean, all the money that we've put into it, I think none of it has been like, oh man, if this thing tanks, I'm bankrupt. now.
Yeah,
Leland,
it's
I'm
160
curious,
bucks. I
do
blow
you
160
recall-
bucks going on a date.
Do you recall your thoughts and opinions on Bitcoin back when it was pennies on the dollar?
There's no reason why it should be worth $60,000 right now.
Hey man, supply and demand, baby. That's capitalism.
But it doesn't matter the reason, is what I'm trying to get through to you. It doesn't matter. You can't sit back and criticize it and say there's no reason why it should be there. It is.
Do you understand that?
And there's people
one
that are
company-
rich now that aren't. There are people that are rich now that are actually contributing to the ideology that you support simply because they're capitalist, because they're fucking rich.
There's one company I believe that owns As Seen on TV, and they buy all the patents for all those ridiculous inventions, and people buy that shit up. And they don't buy it because it has a purpose or because it lasts long or because they simply buy it because it is a novelty.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Beanie Babies are worth thousands of dollars.
Don't even get me
the
started.
little like
I wish I
furry
had mine.
animals that you'd give to your kids and they drool on it and get dog shit
What is
on it
this,
and everything like that back in the
1998
90s.
Hey, Alex, real quick.
Shit's worth thousands of dollars.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Google 1977 C-3PO action figure.
Unopened.
No, it was opened. But that's a Star Wars toy I gave him when he was a kid that I had when I bought in 1977. And it's worth a couple thousand. I think the last time I looked, it was it was like $200 or $300 for that C-3PO with the stiff arms,
Yeah.
back when they were
I
shitty
mean, it's like
little
with,
toys.
Silver, it says 21 bucks on
People
eBay.
buy
21?
spend ridiculous
So it went
money
back
on
down.
shit. I mean, like I had a chance to buy when the Walking Dead comic came out. Had issue number 1 in my hand, flipped through it, and was like, "This thing isn't gonna take off. I'm not gonna read that." 10 years later, that issue was going on eBay for like 10 grand. People just that have money spend
Throw
stupid
20 bucks
amounts of
at
money.
No, he doesn't have to.
Do it.
If he wants to
It-
miss
it's a
if he
free
wants to miss
country.
out, he can miss out.
Now
That's
he's
his
my
choice.
friend. I'm not going to give up. Chuck, when he gets home, get on him. Buying $20, we're going to be happy for you. I think you're going to think we're going to say, Leland, we talked him into it. He's an idiot. If you buy $20 worth of Dogecoin, we will be happy for you.
Yes.
The only reason why if we didn't care, we wouldn't be messing with you about it. We wouldn't be telling you to buy it. I mean, you're a part of the show. We argue with you. I think your ideology is whack, but it's okay. You're a friend. You're here on the show. We like you. We want you to buy the coin so you can come with us.
Buy it.
That's it.
It's not going to be fun if only the 4 of us have yachts.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be rolling up in that shitty-ass Jeep. It's like, hey, there's a Doge coin. I'm like, yeah. Try not to park too close to my Tesla.
Yeah. I mean, when...
Wait. Davis?
How's paying for gas?
Davis? Are you going to keep the Davis Mobile?
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, no. The Davis Mobile is legend. It is.
Ashley
not gonna
It
drive
pulled,
it
the
anywhere.
Davis Mobile will go into a shop and be pampered like a freaking Ferrari race car.
It will turn into the race car it's always wanted.
Yeah, but you gotta keep the shitty
thing will go in
Oh, yeah.
and have a total redo. And it will be, that car is legend.
You
That
also
car,
can't compare your Jeep.
that car was pulling Hutto police cars out of the ditch during Snowpocalypse 2021.
Pulled
Okay,
a giant brodozer out.
it pulled the brodozer out of the ditch.
It pulled a tow truck.
That vehicle is legend.
I think it's peak American
Legend.
ingenuity.
It will be restored
There's probably like some girl watching the show.
No,
that
the
was like, I got
outside-
and
banged
held
on
in a
that.
place of great esteem.
I will have 1 quarter panel fixed, and then the rest of the outside stays the same, but it's going to have a badass interior, and everything else will be changed out.
Yeah, it'll be a sleeper.
Yeah. And it'll be hauling ass. It'll be great. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want my sweet ass Dogecoin.
I'm
money.
just glad that I went and bought back into it. I know I got back in late, but I'm glad I bought back into it so that way y'all aren't having this conversation
Yeah.
with me.
I
Exactly.
was having this conversation with you last week when it was like
$20.
12
Yeah.
cents.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Teammate gained.
Why is that so loud?
I don't know.
It's probably because the volume on the actual computer.
No. On the slider on the board, if you move the slider down, it won't be so loud. Now try it. Not that one. Don't do the computer. Use the board.
Game over.
That's better.
Oh, yeah. So that was the volume on the computer.
Okay, yeah. Turn that back up because you're going to mess everything else up. Use the board. Is that the board?
Sure.
Come on, man. Everything else is going to be too... I mean, when you turn everything else on, it's not going to be...
That's not true. I'm looking at the sound things right now.
Yeah, the
Okay.
rest of the sound output is
All right,
fine.
I'll let
about
you
the
guys...
guy that's sitting
Hey, you
out
know
there
what?
that's
I'll
not
let you guys
looking at
run...
the,
Hey,
sound
you know
stuff?
what? I'll just sit in first class and let you run the
you
ship.
go.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Stay
When
over.
Dogecoin takes off, you might actually have a ship.
Yeah.
You know, we could be having this on the fantail of the yacht.
Oh,
Having
yeah.
the show, yeah.
You got to name the ship the Man Cave, though.
The manhole.
The manhole.
The manhole. The hole of madness.
It'll be a great...
So I'm going to wait till it usually goes down. Like right after midnight, it'll dip down. That's where I'm going to buy some more.
Yeah, well, once the 279 that I had in the
'Cause
weed stock, I'm gonna go and just dump that back into Doge.
God, I'm going to get rid of that stock, man.
That stock, it made me money.
I put 30. It didn't make me shit. I put $30 in it, and it's down to. I don't even
Well,
been
no,
in the
it's
Weeble.
because when it went, I sold off when it went up. I think it got to like just shy. I think it was like $3.90, and I made about like $1,000 off of it. Sold it, and then it tanked back down to 80, and I've 80
Yeah,
cents.
27.31 is down 30, down
Yeah.
35.
So that's when I bought back into it, and it just hasn't done anything. So that's why I dumped them. I took the money out of that, and I just have to wait for it to clear, put it into my
You know what?
bank account.
I'm going to let it ride. It's $20. I don't give a shit.
I mean, 420s tomorrow.
Let it ride, man.
I'm gonna let it ride.
Ride it.
Diamond hand.
I mean, I just put $100 in, but
Not sundial to sundial.
oh, dude, I backed way off that.
Yeah, I just put $20 in it.
Like I said, I made my money off of it, but meh.
There's not. After I did that and then I read into it, there's really not a whole lot of
Yeah, they're not moving.
hype.
Well, they're not making any moves to be legitimized either.
Yeah, to grow bigger.
Yeah, so
To become more bigger.
We need to get you a Doge
I
flag
lost
that
money
you can
on
hang
Sundial.
over
I
I'm
lost
telling you, we
money
need
on
to.
AMC.
So we need to make that Doge dog our. Like I already put by
the-
Doge.
I mean, dude, they made a commercial for it during the Super Bowl.
They did?
Yeah.
shit.
Have y'all not seen it?
Oh, find that. Find the Doge Super Bowl commercial. We'll play
yeah,
it.
it's got like the
no,
dog on the moon.
I just
You can get a yard poster.
yeah. I'm
With,
over
the
here
Shiba.
looking for flag/posters right now. So I
Oh,
can
well,
have-
you know what? Why don't you look for something related to the show, Producer?
yeah, I am a flag of Doge.
Oh, well, look for that commercial. That'd be kind of cool to play during
Did
a
you
break.
guys happen to talk about constitutional carry?
No, we haven't got to that yet,
were
but
waiting
we
for
can.
you. Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Did
I've
that
been here
pass?
for like 2 hours. No, it's in the house right now.
It passed the house.
Well, it-
Well, we were in the middle of talking about other stuff, Alex. I'm sorry.
No, I was just curious. Yeah, we're just. It's,
Yeah, we can move on. That was one of the things we're going to talk about. So it's in the House now in Texas, and that'll be constitutional carry. One of the things that kind of, I don't know. I mean, I spent money to get an LTC, and now
It's
So basically
it's
you won't
not
need it, right?
true. It's not full constitutional carry. It's permitless carry, but there's a lot of things that it doesn't allow you to do
Look,
that the handgun
Leland,
license still does.
It's going. Essentially, what it does is it saves you 4 hours of your time and $50 on range ammo. That's literally all it's doing. You're not submitting your fingerprints into the DPS anymore, like you would with an LTC. But that's just like another thing that's also kind of an infringement. It was shown that it really doesn't have all that much of an effect on gun crime.
What I'm getting at is that the bill that made it through HB 1927 has a bunch of limitations. That you
Yeah, I mean, it has the same limitations as you would have if you had a license to carry.
There's more limitations. That's why a lot of people are complaining about it. Like, for example, there's no campus carry. There's some other limitations where you can't carry, but I mean, it's
You can't campus carry where at UT?
no, you can't campus carry
In schools?
with college campus carry. College campus carry is not covered under HB 1927.
That's already legal.
With a license, yes. With a
All right, so you can conceal carry.
So just go
everywhere
get a
else?
license then.
Yeah.
which
for-
I have.
I think one of the things too, and
But
I
you're not a UT student, so why
and
the
I
fuck does
didn't-
that even apply to you?
and I didn't read into it, but I'm assuming that you still have to go through the background when you buy.
Yeah, you have to do the NICS check every time, just like
yeah, just
everyone
like
does
any
that
other
with-
pistol.
Unless
Unless you have a license, which acts as a NICS check preemption.
yeah.
Well,
Well, and
that's
that's
15 minutes.
exactly. And and I also found out that even if you have a license, who you're buying from can still just run a background check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't have to. But most of them do.
You still have to disclose to a police officer if you're carrying,
Yeah.
as you would if you had an LTC. The lady, one of the testimonies, the lady was saying, like, we're going to have them in churches, we're going to have them in our schools, we're going to have them in our theaters. It's like, all right, well, if you already had a license to carry,
You were already there.
You're already there anyway. Yeah.
except aside from schools, which was a lie, and churches, that's I mean, even if you didn't have a license, to
schools
carry,
are
it's
schools are still a gun-free zone, even if
Yeah.
you're licensed.
So I don't understand. I don't
Is that like a
understand why.
federal issue? Or is there actually some states that don't allow for school?
Federal,
Federal.
because they public schools are under federal jurisdiction.
Yeah. I mean, here's
I
the other
think
thing
there are
that
some
came out of that.
schools, some school districts, not in the state of Texas, but like in South Dakota and other Dakotas and shit like that. That
Kind of said fuck off.
that allow their teachers to have be licensed to carry.
There's something that no one that talks about is there are high schools in Texas. Well, there are high schools that have competitive shooting teams. Pistol and trap shoot and rifle and marksman. And there's an actual. It's real low key, but those schools. I think in Texas it depends. I think
Dripping Springs has one.
I think the rural schools kind of thumb their nose and say, fuck you.
But they go to a gun range to do it. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't
No,
do it
but
at
I was
school.
talking about the gun-free zone. Because back when I was in school, we used to take our shotguns and put them in our lockers.
Yeah, but back when you were in school, people used to diddle kids and not get caught. So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god.
Write that one down too.
Of course, none of those hot teachers ever
there was
came
literally
after
an
me.
island
But
in the middle of Lake Michigan called Fox Island that like these millionaires would take these kids from.
Okay,
like,
stop.
I'm just
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Wait, was
Not
that like
only did your grandfather and your Aunt Lynn and I travel the islands around Beaver Island,
Beaver?
Okay.
and I knew that was going to get Mike to giggle, Fox Island is one of them, and it is basically uninhabited.
Okay, so let me finish. They ran a summer camp out there where they took at-risk youth kids to the island to take them camping, and then there
He's
was
looking it
instances where a few of them got diddled, and it was like a whole ring. I watched a documentary about it. It was mind blowing. And like back in like how in the 70s and 80s, like when a child would run away or go missing, they'd be like, "Oh, yep, I guess the kid just ran off." I'm like, no, that kid was abducted and murdered somewhere and never found.
Yeah,
that's why you guys started having like kids on milk cartons and shit like that in the 80s and the 90s. It's because so many kids were going missing.
Wasn't the Boy Scouts of America sued out of existence because of the amount of molestation that went through?
Sure.
The South Fox Island Lighthouse is the one that your grandpa tells the story where he was walking up the stairs in the lighthouse part, and my sister and I were like right behind him, but it was dark.
Yeah.
And he was walking up, and he'd stop, and we'd boom, boom, bump right. But yeah, they're just small, uninhabited islands. Yeah, South Fox and North Fox.
If you have enough
No, check it out. It
Dogecoin,
was
you can
pretty. It's
buy
pretty
it.
wild.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty nuts. It's like, man,
Private airport
On the island?
on the island. Yeah.
Paved or
Oh, somebody must have bought it.
You could just do that.
If you have enough Dogecoin.
Well,
so anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Beaver Island, the Beaver Island chain, which is right off of the northern part of Lake Michigan, and the Great Lakes were carved out by the glaciers. So, shut the fuck up.
Hey, I have a question. Next to Beaver Island, is there a starfish island?
Shut the fuck up. Is there brown and bleached
No.
starfish?
Oh my god.
There is not a starfish island. It's called Rusty Star Island.
Gross.
Rusty trombone.
All right, so that was actually a really good segue into the human trafficking part.
It's
of this,
Beaver Island State Wildlife Research Area. So the only reason they put the airport on there so researchers could go and.
Fly into
What did you
research.
Google exactly? Because I thought you were looking it up, and now you're just
I
telling
am.
us facts
He
about
just-
Beaver.
I am because I went there as a
Wikipedia
kid in a
Fox
sailboat, man.
So
we
in
sailed all over. this.
12.
Well,
we were
there used to
over
be this
here.
one fellow named Jimmy, and Jimmy
We
ran
were-
this bait shop.
we
right on
were
the side
hopping
of the beach
around.
there. Let me
Now,
tell you
one
something about
time,
this
Jimmy
bait shop. Every time
reached down
you
there
went
to
inside
grab
this
the
bait
worms,
shop-
and he pulled out a snail. And I said, "That's weird that he had
We
the
were-
snail there." So we walked outside and looked for more snails. Maybe the snail
Oh,
had
it was a sunny
family.
day that day,
and then
too.
I walked down the street, and old Mary Sue came out of the old store. Mary Sue, oh, she was a sight for sore eyes.
Is that gonna be you in 10 years?
Yeah. We were over here just exploring the archipelago of the Great Lakes.
You can't hijack
Oh.
our joke about you.
We were just exploring it old Douglas MacArthur style. Well, we were over here and we saw some other kids and went, "Oh, hey kids," and they were like, "Oh,
Wait. Douglas
hey."
MacArthur style. So basically going there and burning it to the ground.
Shut up, Leland! You're ruining my thing. And anyway,
Why are
so I
you
was
stepping
talking-
on his joke, man?
Yeah, I
Don't
was
step
over
on
here
his
talking
joke.
about the Great Lakes,
That was
and
a-
Leland
that was
had
a
to
funny
interject
joke, man.
about my nostalgia.
Stepping on the joke.
Yeah. That's basically all I gathered was a whole bunch of.
Back in 1987.
It was just a good old.
All right, so
summer.
I don't know what you Googled and you found out, but then in my Google search, this is what I found in like under 5 seconds. Jeffrey Epstein was accused of sex trafficking young girls on his mysterious private island. Over 40 years ago, a different millionaire escaped justice in a stunningly similar case.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Stuff about, what's his name? Okay, internet sleuths say the allegations against Epstein bear a remarkable resemblance to a 1970s case on an island in Lake Michigan. The story of Francis D. Sheldon and North Fox Island has been tied to a series of unsolved child murders. Oh shit, they murdered too? That occurred in the
why
Detroit
don't you hear anything
suburbs
about it?
more than 4 decades ago.
Former proprietor of North Fox Island.
I remember old Frank. He used to be a good old guy, just always surrounded by happy kids, and we'd just go out there and have a grand old time. Just good old Frank Francis. It'd just be a good old time out on the island.
I say, Francis, where'd all them kids go? They went home early.
Yeah, that's...
All of they must have just run off.
Yeah.
They run off.
Them kids just decided they didn't want to be on the island no more.
Police
so
would
they
later
just
find
went
out his
away.
generosity was masking his true intentions. Frank Sheldon would be proven to be a child pornographer and pedophile. His island, a venue for his crimes against children. His involvement in these activities in the state of Michigan went on into 1976, which overlap with some of the child killings happening in Oakland County.
So
Did this guy hang out with John Wayne Gacy?
You know what? I guess I kind of knew about that. Come to think of it, but I didn't put it together. Well, it was 19.
It said 1976. On
It was
this.
70. Yeah, 76. I was in what?
10 years old.
Yeah. So that's what.
I'm not
fifth
saying
grade?
that you were diddled or anything like that.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying,
wasn't. No,
You
no.
can't say, well,
I didn't follow any millionaire to any island. I mean,
Back in my day, society used to be a lot better. I'm like, no,
I was like,
fucking didn't.
I was like 12. I was 12 or 13, and your sister, or my sister, your Aunt Lynn was 9 or 10, and me, the three of us, and I got that. I'll give you the.
I don't
Grandpa.
care. I mean, it's not that I don't care. It's just like I get it.
But anyway, we went to those islands,
Yeah.
Fox Island.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
this is
You
like
had- you
2
were
or
none
3
the
years.
wiser.
This is
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 years after all this shit happened.
Yeah, you're none the wiser. So I watch a shit ton of true crime. A lot of it is like from the 90s and 80s, and
Makes you
society was super fucked back
I
then.
was going to say,
yeah.
it makes you wonder what percentage of these guys get away with it, and what percentage get
A
caught.
lot,
You have to think.
A lot. One of them even became president.
dude. That's why. I mean, they ended up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Bill Clinton.
So two of them became president. They
So
were best
two of them
friends.
became president.
you
best friends.
You couldn't hear that. Hold
Best
on.
friend.
This was super good. I have
And
to raise
to
the
answer
volume.
your question once again, Alex, if Trump was what you say he was, Roger Stone would never have supported him or encouraged him to run for president.
Okay.
Do you really need to drink that water that close to the mic?
Yeah, drink it louder because it drowns out the Leland sounds.
ASMR.
How's that alkaline?
Yeah.
So back, just to kind of, sorry to derail your point of back in when you were, a kid, you could bring guns to school.
Bad shit.
A lot of bad
That's
shit
where
happened back
this
then, all right?
started
So,
with guns in school, ended up with pedophiles on an island. Go ahead.
I'm just
Bill.
saying, like,
If
oh,
more
back in
kids brought
my.
guns to schools, there'd be less victims of pedophiles on an island.
That's
There you
not
go.
true because we brought guns to school back then, and apparently a millionaire was diddling kids on an island that I sailed to. So
Yeah. And I mean, even then, you have to think a lot of bad shit happened. Like this guy here that I pulled up here on
Fucking
the screen.
Gary Ridgway.
Yeah, here I'm gonna put it this real quick just so people can see this.
We're gonna
This
start doing
dude
true
here,
crime episodes. 'cause
Gary
that's fun.
fucking Ridgway killed like 70 women between like 1980 and like 2000s, and like this guy's from Washington State. Or lived in Washington State. I think he was born in like Colorado or
Is this the
Utah or
hitchhike
one of those
killer?
dumbass states. But he killed like hella people, and nobody figured out who the Green River Killer was for like ever. They
Ever.
interviewed this guy like 5 times, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not out killing women. That's not me." They're like, "All right, we'll take your word for it. Don't worry about it, weird creepy man. That's obviously not this guy who's the murderer and stuff like that."
Missing women. No.
Yeah, and then later on,
Not
he's
me.
like, "Oh well, I'm kind of caught. By the way, I killed like 100 women, and I'm a huge creeper, rapist, serial
Is
killer."
it the same way
piece of
John Wayne
shit.
Casey ended up getting caught?
I don't know, man. Wasn't that guy like a party clown?
Yeah,
He also was in bed with
Hey,
Democrat
excuse-
politics in Chicago and killed a bunch of people and buried them under his house.
holy cow!
Yeah.
Amazing.
John Wayne Gacy? You never heard of John Wayne
41
Gacy before?
cents. We're on the rise.
yeah. I think everybody's heard of John Wayne.
See,
Gacy.
it was down to 36 cents. You could have bought $20 worth.
Or
Now
like
it's up to 41.
another good example was like Ted Bundy. Look at that guy. That guy was like apparently just lovable and super nice.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he was
like-
also just kind of a horrible person.
Women would like send him nude pictures of them in their underwear and write him love letters and stuff.
How
The
could you
dude's
be
out
having
here
nude?
murdering-
How could it be a nude picture with underwear on?
No,
Were
I
they
said
like-
they would send him nude pictures or their underwear.
Yeah.
Were they like just? I'm just gonna let this fester right there in front of you.
Okay.
My $60 investment right there. I'm just gonna let that
Man,
fester
you're
right
up.
there.
Okay.
23.19% today.
Valuation.
I'm just the pay right there. If I cashed out, that's what I would cash
Leland,
out
are you
and
gonna
put in
stop
my
using-
bank.
Are you gonna stop
right
using
there?
But you're
Money?
not
Are you
cashing.
gonna stop?
I'm not cashing out because I want it to go higher and make more. I want that number to go bigger. I would like this number to be 8 figures.
Leland, by your logic, you're no longer going to use USD.
Yeah.
Anymore.
You're going to use
You're gonna
your
barter
mouth.
with like paper clips and like fucking pocket lint.
No.
And people are gonna look at you like you're fucking crazy and tell you to fuck off.
He's not going to use paper clips for money. Just his mouth hole. In exchange for goods and services. He will
I think
be
a tank of gas is worth about I don't know,
talking.
37 seconds.
$20, man. I'm telling you, it's going up. Tomorrow's 420. Tomorrow, Leland, is 420. They have been pushing this all over the internet. That 420 is Dogecoin Day.
And dude,
And how many of
you
these
know
people
more than
are-
anybody.
and how
The
many of these
spurgs on the
people-
internet are
how
not
many-
something to be fucking messed
How
with.
many?
not
these
since
people are
a
gonna get stoned off their ass tomorrow and screwed up.
and buy a bunch of Dogecoin
Yeah.
and it's going to go through the roof.
What happens? Let's say, and let's roll the statistics on here. Real
Man, you
quick.
gotta get out more, buddy.
Right? Let's say, how many people do you think smoke weed in the U.S.?
I don't know, probably like 40 million.
All right, so we're going to do 40 million, right?
That's probably more than that.
Dave Honey
And then we're going to multiply
at Dave
those-
Honey 7 says Dogecoin Day is upon us. It's still think it's a joke. It is, but it's also life. Congratulations to everybody who believed. Today the joke won't be on you.
Yeah,
The
let's
joke
say,
isn't Dogecoin. The joke is in your hands.
yeah, let's say 40 million people spend $69, right? Because that's would be part of the joke on Dogecoin. That's
40.20.
yeah. That's what? 2,760,000,000,000. No, yeah. $2,760,000,000.
Hey, did you find the Dogecoin Super Bowl
No, I've
commercial?
been too busy doing other
Find
stuff.
the Dogecoin Super Bowl commercial.
Is it really a
God,
Super Bowl
dude, it's
commercial?
hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious.
I don't remember seeing it.
Play it.
I watched. I saw
All right,
it.
give me a second here. Jesus.
Golly. Brock Young of Mad Circus. We didn't get to any Mad Circus tonight, Brock, but the link is in our description of the show. Go to Mad Circus, like, follow. Also, since Brock is chimed in, is watching the show, I am on another show while he's getting that keyed up. It's called The Form of Racing, and we talk about F1 racing. So if you're a fan of F1, the link is in the bio. The link is in the description. Go there. Come join us for the conversation. I don't know if I can talk about the race since one of my co-hosts DVR'd it. And since the race is on Sunday and it's now Monday night, he has yet to watch it, so we can't say anything about it.
All right.
I can't say that Verstappen won and that Hamilton came back from P14 to take number 2, even though he was 22 seconds behind Verstappen. I can't say that because one of my guys recorded it like it's 2004. Anyway.
All right. Hold on. We're going to play the video because
All right.
you guys
Jesus,
have been
TiVo, so-
asking me to play it.
Yeah, play it.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Well, yeah, I gotta watch what I say here. Occasionally I make jokes about Dogecoin,
It's down 50 bucks.
but fate loves irony.
You always have a moment
It's
in your
down
life
50
where the
bucks since you put
direction
the
you're
screen in
going,
front of my face.
you will have to make a decision to keep going or you turn back.
You just dropped 20 bucks right there.
Can't save everyone.
And often, as a friend of mine says, the most ironic outcome is the most likely.
Yeah, it's down
And
like
arguably-
70 bucks now.
The most entertaining outcome, the most ironic outcome, would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.
We choose to go to the moon.
Not because it is easy. Because it is hard.
So I'm just watching it go down. It's gone down about $70 since I put the screen in my face.
Make sure y'all tap in for Dogecoin, man. It's gonna be the crypto of the future. Dogecoin is the people's coin. Let's go.
People's coin.
That legit was not the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Guess so.
Just
Well, Pets.com has a
Is it
Super Bowl
just me?
commercial too, so there you go.
Or is it getting crazier out there?
There you go.
watch because you.
Okay.
Did you say that it just
So,
dropped $20?
I want
Because
you to-
when you're
I wa-
dealing with
hold on, hold
thousands
on.
of dollars.
Hold on. I want you to look.
$20 is. I mean, that's a fluctuating.
I want you to look at something, Leland. Look at that number right there.
Okay.
That was a week ago.
In this platform, I bought $30 worth.
Oh wow! It just dropped $50 in 3 seconds.
He still has
But
$2,500.
I'm still up couple thousand dollars.
You're putting it in my face. Watch it go up. I'm watching it go down.
Okay, now buy. I hope it goes down some more. Because it's not going to stay
Whatever,
there
dude.
forever.
Don't worry about it. Fuck him.
You know what? Yeah,
Sorry,
you're
Leland.
right.
Like-
You know, we spent the whole show trying to save him.
Yeah.
But
So that we didn't-
people can't. It's up $426 today.
I'm up $1,400 since yesterday. So like, I don't shut the fuck up. Like I don't.
I'm up. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But,
All right, we're
you know,
tapping
shut
out.
up.
Leland,
Like-
this is what's going to happen, and it might
You
not
said you're
happen.
tapping out.
I might, it might not happen. But this is my last thing I'm going to say to you. Okay, when this takes off, and the four of us sitting in here
Aren't
have
here
everything
anymore
paid
'cause
off,
there's something else.
I don't want to hear shit, and don't come going, hey man, you need a pilot. I'm like, you could,
That's a skill.
yeah.
So is making choices that are smart. Oh my God! Hold on. I'm muting everybody. Listen, your flying is a skill. Yes, so is making wise choices. I'm going to go and put myself on the camera real quick because I'm pissed now. Because all I hear is fucking... all I'm seeing it do is go down. And yeah, I don't know how you go. Dude, it's literally spend $20. Go and buy some. Because when we're all gajillionaires, who gives a shit? Because I don't give a shit if those other people didn't buy into it because they were stupid and not this guy. I spent money, not a lot of money, and I spent it wisely because I literally could have went and spent it on like Taco Bell or booze or like Cheddar Bay fucking biscuits. I don't care because it's my money that I'm going to be taking home at the end of the day with this decent investment that I'm going to sit there and be like, oh man, I'm glad, the guys that I talked to, we all kind of bought into this because now we could circle jerk on our fucking multi-billion-dollar yacht or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. Literally, it is not that hard. And you're over here talking about how like motherfuckers need to be like, well, I think it'll devalue the U.S. currency. Well, who gives a shit? Because let's say I go and turn that money into silver, or I go and turn it into gold, or I go and turn it into fucking anything. I don't give a shit about the price of peas in Pakistan. All I cared about is the price of the goddamn Doge when it makes me a bunch of money, which is probably going to happen if everything plays out right. If not, I'm out $60. Oh, watch out. That's a huge sum of money. I've literally spent $60 drunk on a whim because I wanted Panda Express. I literally don't see any negative result of me spending money this. I've bought stupider things for much more.
And so, what was the return on your Panda Express investment?
Shits.
Oh, it was diarrhea.
It was bad.
It was a lot of diarrhea.
So real
You know
quick,
what happened? You guys were digging up the front yard and unclogging a toilet.
That's what happened. Yeah,
That's what happened. That was the return on the investment on that one.
Yeah.
fucking weekend of
you
digging
could,
in the yard.
You could scoff
In the snow.
When I'm a multi-billionaire, I will need somebody to move my ottoman for me. And if you want to do that, I will gladly hire you at $12 an hour to move my ottoman around and possibly wipe my ass.
All right, we're done with that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go ahead and sign off here.
Yeah.
Buy Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Buy Dogecoin. Do it. Do
Wait,
it.
hey, can we end on that audio clip?
Wait.
Representative Ian Johnson.
Wait, we didn't.
Do what? And then what?
Wait. Can I get 2 minutes to talk about the South by Southwest purchase?
No.
It's
Penske bought it, and hopefully they'll turn it.
Why are you bringing that up now? We're not.
Retard alert!
Don't turn my mic off. Turn his mic off. Let's close this thing down.
I have to reach over, so it's kind of hard.
Hey, what video did you want to play?
Oh, no, I just wanted to close off on this.
Close off.
On this one little thing here. Let me know if you can hear it. This is the one of the testimonies for
Oh yeah.
For prohibiting constitutional carry. It's glorious. I've been listening to it all day. It's possibly one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my entire life, and like I have to come up every Monday and listen to Leland.
Are you bring?
He's just gonna play the sound clip.
Are you just gonna play it over the mic? Okay, go ahead.
That 21-year-old pimp. That 21-year-old pimp. That 21-year-old trafficker who is not yet a convicted felon. Roll on into any place you want and buy a gun under this provision and walk around in whatever way you want. No training, no understanding, Wild West pimp style.
Holy
That's what
crap.
this bill does. And then that pimp can roll into whatever small businesses in your community with their stable of girls, and they can flaunt it. Wild West pimp style.
You can't do any of those things, even without a gun.
That's the most racist thing I think I've heard today.
That was not only.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Well, let's keep rolling then, man. Screw it. It's our show.
Wild show goes on.
Crap.
Right. WWP motherfucking.
Hold on. We're bring
tone
it.
deaf could you possibly be to believe that is an adequate testimony to give in a state hearing?
That was in Texas?
That was in Texas. That was that was Senator
hold on. We got it.
Yeah. Senator
was that on
Johnson from fucking Houston.
Was that on YouTube?
You could probably look up Wild West pimp style.
I'm already on
we got I want to see what this woman looks like because
if you are a human trafficker and you purchase a firearm, you already commit a felony by lying on your 4473, and then you also commit aggravated kidnapping if you hold somebody at gunpoint. That has nothing to do with a license to carry. That has to do with pieces of shit.
And this is a Democrat, right?
This is I mean, but you can't really shit on Democrats for this because 7 Democrats in the House voted to.
They're good with
it.
Yeah, Terry Canals voted for it. Harold Dutton voted for it.
Well, yeah, because they want to be reelected here in Texas.
In fact, Terry Canals is
Oh my God! So the comments
they're bringing
on this
it up.
Video.
Yeah, play the video and then we'll read the comments.
All right.
But put the whole screen up. Put the whole screen up. Then we read the comments.
Wild West pimp style. We'll
extend the show. We're going to extend the show to talk about this because that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I sent it to you earlier. That kind of hurts that you watch it.
That 21-year-old pimp. That 21-year-old trafficker who is not yet a convicted felon. Roll on into any place you want and buy a gun under this provision and walk around in whatever way you want. No training, no understanding, Wild West pimp style. That's what this bill does. And then that pimp can roll into whatever small businesses in your community with their stable of girls, and they can flaunt it. Wild West pimp style.
She's an advocate for human trafficking too. So not only did she just spit in the face of the minority gun owners in the state, she also just went ahead and shit on victims of human trafficking.
You know, I know people have already done it, and once we get our merch store up, we have to jump on this kind of stuff and make T-shirts. Wild West pimp style needs to be on a freaking shirt, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope all the companies that make meme lowers for ARs, I hope somebody rolls out with a Wild West pimp style. I would buy the shit out of that because it's stupid.
If you find it, I will buy it.
Yeah. I mean, what's bad is right now, if you
Wild West pimp style.
If you go to Google and put in Wild West,
did you put it on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just over here. You could Google Wild West and then pimp style already auto completes.
Just watch next week's show. He's going to have it on one of his soundboards.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over
West
the place.
Style.
Wild West.
That's to reduce all gun owners in this state as
pimps.
pimps, like to compare us, like, well, you know, pimps also carry guns. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, why
Pimps
would
carry canes.
Yeah, pimps don't carry guns.
We're just a bunch of pimps, no hoes.
You can't.
No hoes here.
It's not being in possession of a firearm that makes human trafficking worse. It's just human trafficking that's bad.
Yeah.
Like,
what the hell?
It's like you didn't have to embellish to make it seem like all gun owners are pimps.
I know, dude.
Oh my god.
Dude.
And like she made it
Wild
like
West
to where
pimp
like
style.
she made it to where like, oh well, under this they could go and buy guns randomly because pimps also can go buy guns magically without having to file a background check because that's how it works. And then they're gonna carry them.
A gun in the first
No.
place. No.
You gotta.
Shut up.
These politicians got to know what the hell they're talking about
Yeah.
if they're going to talk about restricting our rights. And like, you can't just if you are a human trafficker and you go and fill out a 4473, there's a provision and there's a question in there asking like, you know, saying like, hey, if you buy this gun, are you going to use it for criminal activity? And if you hit no, you've already committed a felony. If you're a human trafficker,
2 of them.
Yeah,
if you're fugitive of justice.
Yeah, if you get caught.
Yeah.
So like, it's not. It was such an irrelevant like grasping at the straws.
God.
This
like
was-
of you know, and then to kind of like, it's kind of like, you know, back in the day when they're trying to prohibit marijuana, they're like, oh well, you know, Mexicans smoke marijuana. It's like, well, you know, pimps own guns. Like, you know, there's just like subtle racist undertones in her testimony there that like, as a Democrat, you'd think that she would have more. A little bit more of a sensitivity to.
Yeah, aren't they the sensitive? Aren't they the party of the oppressed?
Exactly. Well, I mean, they claim to
because they
be,
were the ones
but then
that
they
did
do
the
whack ass
oppression.
shit like this, like taking. What about all the victims of would be, you know, sex trafficking? What about the girl that, you know, that has to work late at a diner or, you know, at any restaurant, and she has to walk home, and she's not, you know, because she doesn't have the money to get an LTC nor the time to go to a class, which is only 4 hours long.
But,
and
you
the
know,
whole class is just trying to tell you don't shoot somebody unless you're prepared to go to court.
Yeah.
Like that's
But you
something
know,
that you learn when you first buy a gun, regardless of somebody telling you that.
But understand, Alex, that young lady is safer by not owning a gun because she could use it on herself, and you can just always call the defunded police.
Here, I'm gonna
Dude,
play.
I have the Citizen app, and I live in South Austin, and there's shit going down all the time.
All over the place.
So,
I know.
I'm
I'm
racked
telling
up.
you, being in private security right now, I mean, I was looking, I can't go into too much detail about that kind of stuff, but it's booming right now because everybody, every property, every apartment complex, whether it's a shithole or it's one of the brand new, especially the brand new ones, because they don't, I mean, especially the brand new ones that were
are
built
like right downtown.
Well, that are right downtown, but that used to be in bad neighborhoods, like right off of Congress down there. They got a couple of properties that are gorgeous.
And they got hobo camps.
Gorgeous
right across the
property,
street
and they got
from
hobo camps across the street. And the hobos, and I didn't know this. I thought it was kind of funny. The hobos go in and bathe in the swimming pools. So, you know, some gal will get a high-end place, and they get up to walk their dog and walk out, and there's this naked homeless guy scrubbing his nuts in the pool.
You know, this
when you say private security is in high demand, it's not just for properties. A lot of people.
The police
a
are
lot of people have bodyguards now.
Well, and a lot of people have that exactly, and that's kind of what I do. They call me, and I escort people, and you know, with the earpiece and the whole thing.
Escort.
Yeah.
Oh, we were just talking about pimps and escort.
Hey, I want to play another really pandering gun clip. I'm not going to play the video so everybody can see it, but this is another one.
No, play the video.
And that's unnecessary.
Yeah,
you can
but
just
listen
listen
to the
audio.
sound of it because it's one of those. It's also the stupidest thing you've ever heard. Hurry up here, video.
Well, why not play the video?
This is a ghost gun.
Because you can also get copyrights infringements.
Oh,
This
yeah.
right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse.
I remember
30
this.
bullets
Wasn't this
within
guy?
Look at the
30 magazine clip in half a second.
Was this?
look at the expression of the police officer standing
Yeah,
behind him.
behind him. He's like, what the fuck?
That guy looks like a fud, so he's like,
Was that the politician?
Holy cow! What the hell?
Was that the politician that was arrested for trafficking guns?
No.
That was a different guy.
that was a different guy. But in the same state in California.
Same state.
If you look up there's another Ghost
Not
Guns
mine.
one. It was like coming to a theater near you, coming to a airport near you, coming to a school near you. Ghost Guns, and I was like, dude, shut up, dude.
I was debating with a guy today online because I get into the anti-gun, and I just ask questions. I'm like, well, what law would have prevented it? What other law do you need to see? I mean, outside of murder, what law is there? Because laws don't stop anything. But he says, well, there's no reason why you need a high-powered, high-capacity battle rifle. And I said, what the fuck is that?
A PTR.
No, well, that's the thing. All these nomenclatures they throw on this stuff to make it all scary. It's just a gun, and all guns are basically the same. The only thing that differentiates is the caliber and the size and the muzzle speed. But it's all fast. You're not going to outrun anything. So it doesn't matter if it's got a low muzzle speed or a fast muzzle speed. You're not going to outrun it. I mean, especially in close quarters. But in really the high powered, that's marketing. It's all the same. It's just a straight metal tube that propels a projectile in a straight line that you aim at. Whose is that?
Probably Leland's.
No, it's mine's.
So anyway, the point I was trying to make is you can't make it scarier by adding all these adjectives to it. It's just a gun. And semi-automatic guns, no matter what configuration, fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. And pretty much every semi-automatic rifle that you can buy out there, you can put a 20 and 30 round magazine in. So whether it's a hunting rifle with a wood stock or it's a sporting rifle like an AR-15,
We'll just modify it to belt feeder.
it's just it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. One doesn't make it deadlier. All guns are about the same. All guns can kill you. If you get shot by a gun, and the guy shooting you knows what he's doing, chances are you're going to die.
Yeah.
So to put all these adjectives and say, well, we're going to ban this because it's a high-powered, high-capacity assault battle rifle. I mean, what the fuck is that?
Well, Colorado just passed a bill pretty sweepingly that requires you to keep your guns locked at home, which, I mean, when I'm not home, I lock my safe because I don't want people stealing my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that safe is pretty heavy when it's full. So, unless you have a dolly or some shit like that, good luck getting that out of there. But yeah. Anytime I leave the house, I lock up the safe. It stays locked most of the time. So, I mean, that's just kind of responsible gun ownership on my end. But they made a law. They made a law about it, and they also made it a law to where you have to report to the police if your firearm has been stolen,
which you would do anyway.
You would do anyway,
Yeah.
so that your firearm doesn't show up in a crime and you get pinned for it. So they just passed these two pat me on the back, look, we're doing stuff about guns laws that would have.
That law-abiding citizens already do.
That law-abiding citizens would already do, and two, wouldn't have prevented the recent mass shooting.
No,
I don't. And also, well, what about cable locks? All right, well, you ever heard of bolt cutters? It's not.
Well, and what people are missing out, and I'll tell you what would have prevented the latest mass shooting. The only thing that would have prevented the latest mass shooting is if the person who conducted the shooting changed their mind.
You're talking about the one that happened yesterday?
Any of them.
Because the one that happened yesterday, he actually he had a restraining order against them, and when you have a restraining order placed against you, you have to
in Austin?
Yeah.
You know why he had a restraining order?
Because
he was fucking the girl.
He was a diddler.
He was a kitty diddler. He was. I knew the guy. He was a sheriff at Travis County. I knew him. I knew who he was, and he was part of a ring of a couple of Austin detectives too that got fired for having child porn. But he actually, and I believe it was the girl he shot.
Yeah.
When she was younger. So
it was
one.
They released the names earlier this day, so.
He shouldn't have had a weapon at all, period.
He had two. When they arrested him, he had another one.
Well, the other thing, too, didn't they let him on a PR bond versus a cash bond? Because...
no, he had already went to jail and got convicted and everything.
Yeah.
He served his time. This was years ago. This was years ago.
It happened in 2018.
What, the kitty diddler?
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier.
No, he probably got fired before that.
Oh, no, he got fired. Yeah, he had it on his work computer.
Did y'all hear about the FedEx guy?
Wow.
Well, the point I'm making is all those could only have been prevented by one thing, and that's the person who did the act would have changed his mind.
Oh, yeah. But
and that's personal. It doesn't have anything to do with my guns. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody's guns that own guns.
Yeah, don't hold me to the lowest fucking standard.
Yeah.
I got
I've done
think
nothing wrong.
about
so.
that.
What you got, Patty?
So they had like some article pop up earlier today, and I guess there was that mass shooting at some FedEx thing or whatever. Well, I guess it came out that the guy was a brony or something. He was into My Little Ponies.
Okay.
Oh.
And you're like going through the comments.
I didn't know what a brony was.
Yeah. And they're going through the comments, and I guess there was somebody in the comments that was like, one, like against guns, but two, like also a brony, and was just like, you can't go and group all of us in as bad people just because one of us made the wrong decision. And I went and commented it on it. I'm like, you mean like law-abiding gun owners that everybody wants to group into?
That's actually a legitimate point.
It is a legitimate point.
I had said earlier something similar. What's it called? Dr. Anthony Fauci came out and said that gun violence is a health crisis. But it's funny that they'll come out against gun violence, claiming that it's a health crisis, but it's too taboo to claim that the mental health crisis exists and is a driving force behind gun suicides, because they lump these gun deaths all together as if like they're all the same, and they're not. Most of the gun deaths that are happen in this country happen in self-defense.
Okay, so far in 2021, and the resource I went to, and I'll add this to the description, it's my number one resource when I ever have a debate with anybody. It started out as an anti-gun site, but it's now become the most accurate site for statistics because they break it down. The total number of gun violence deaths, all deaths, for 2021 is 12,876. 5,600 of them were because somebody killed somebody.
Yeah.
Suicide accounts for 7,260. You can also not hold me accountable for suicide, and this might rub some people the wrong way. I've had friends who've committed suicide. I know I'm a veteran. We lose 22 a day, but you can't count those as gun deaths because they didn't even care enough about themselves. So we shouldn't. I shouldn't add those in. So far this year, only 5,616 people. That's all gun deaths.
And how many of those were used in self-defense?
For a country full of 400 million people. So that is
350 million.
350.
So
I thought it was 380 million. There were 400 million.
Whatever.
350 million.
Dogecoin.
So officer involved, 18. Where the officer was killed or injured, 96 officers have been killed or injured.
In 2021?
In 2021. Defensive use, 353 times.
I guess there's a bunch of assholes out there that shouldn't have guns.
But here's the thing.
That should probably meet people that do have guns and should have guns.
Those numbers sound big if you're standing in a gymnasium.
Yeah.
But we're a country of 350 million people. That's nothing. That's a fraction of a percent.
Yeah, how many people die in car accidents every day?
Well, probably not that many. But you know what the big health crisis is? The number one killer of citizens of the United States is
Obesity?
what?
Obesity?
No.
Heart disease.
Congestive heart failure.
Dying.
Number 2, diabetes. In the millions. But yet something that affects hardly anybody is a health crisis.
It's like COVID. I mean, how many people have died from COVID in the United States for the whole year?
I'm not talking about COVID.
But they're making it, well, like you said, such a small statistic, and yet they're making it the national policy.
So in 2020, which was the shittiest year in human history, but 2021's on the radar. The highest number of deaths because of COVID, I'm pretty sure. 24,000 people killed themselves last year. Almost double. Only 19,394 were killed by other means. Defensive use, 1,468 times somebody used a gun to save their life. And then unintentional shootings, 2,298. So go learn how to fucking shoot a gun, dumbasses.
How many mass
finger
shootings
off the
did we
trigger.
have in
Yeah, don't put your booger
2020?
scooper on the Bing switch until you're ready to shoot it. That's gunviolencearchive.org. It's a great resource to look up all that information. Well, I'm glad we extended the show to talk about that, Alex. Thank you.
Can I, since we extended it for this guy?
Okay. What do you want to talk
Okay,
about?
so South by Southwest.
Oh, my God, no. Who cares? Who bought South by Southwest? Why is that relevant to anything we're talking about?
Well, let's think about it.
Did he buy it with Dogecoin?
No, they didn't buy it with Dogecoin. They bought it probably because the bill. Okay, so let's go back and let's see why South by Southwest got into financial shithole.
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.